Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I forgot to update my stream information again, so I will fix that in just a second. But we are back with our first of our Lowlands games. So, just as a quick reminder, this is an elimination game. Our players are fighting for their tournament lives here, and the winner of this game will proceed on to the wild round, while the losers will be eliminated from the tournament. So, let's go through and meet our players quickly. First, on nobility, our corporate overlords have manifested itself as Pablo. Pablo, please say hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pablo. I'm going to be playing the nobility. I designed this stupid game, so anything that goes wrong is my fault. You can please write your submissions in writing and send them to the following address that Jaffles will include at some point. Cheers.
Pablo, how do you respond to allegations that the winner of this tournament will get to name your firstborn child?
That's why I'm going to make sure that I win the tournament, and that way my partner will be very happy. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of problems in this household.
Awesome. And next up on clans is Mr. Pump and Dump himself, Nevakanezah.
Well, there's an intro I can hardly follow. It is I, beloved underdog, Nevakanezah, here to make up my play for my tournament life as I try to defeat the corporate menace once and for all.
Now, Nev, I have to ask you, what's your secret to going 0-2 in most every event that you've entered?
The secret is to be recognizable and to try. So remember, kids, trying is the first step to failure.
Excellent. And rounding out our group is Nixx on Gathering.
Hello everyone, I didn't prepare any joke, I'm sorry.
Nixx, how do you feel about potentially bringing home the first win for Gathering in this tournament?
I feel good, I have a lot of name ideas, so I'm motivated to win this one.
All right. Excellent. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. We've got Winter Knight here as well. Winter Knight, you want to say hi?
Hi everyone, tonight back again for more commentary on the Invitational, and really glad to be here again. Thank you for having me.
All right. And yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and get our game started. Winter Knight and I are going to move into our commentary box, and good luck, everyone.
All the best,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good luck, everyone. Okay. So, bidding's up, and this is the turn order.
So just testing
In the middle,
mic
Lowlands in last. That's a bit scary.
while streaming to here.
Let's see what.
Hello, Winter Knight. Are you excited for another awesome game?
I'm very excited.
Ooh, okay.
Really nice to see again what's gonna happen this game, because I think every game of the King's Crown is so different. Just all the decisions that players can make, everything can really affect how the game plays out. And as I say about things that can really affect the game, let's have a look at the opening kingdom card roll, which I think, as we've seen from previous games, depending on how wild it is, can really change up how players approach the game, and just the opening rounds in general.
I think for me, the first thing I've noticed here is Endless Library, which once again is just one of those really powerful early game econ cards. So this allows you to journey for 2 lore instead of 1 lore with one of your more mediocre faction cards that only generate a single lore. I think we're going to see players bid pretty aggressively for Endless Library. What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah, I think between all the cards that are currently on the Great Road, Endless Library definitely stands out to me. And yeah, we do see a fairly aggressive bid from both clans and Gathering, potentially for Endless Library, because it does help you journey quite well. And yeah, we see that after Gathering has managed to win the bid, they have immediately chosen to... Oh wait,
I tend to know what I'm doing.
assume that Gathering is first.
You know, despite all of my research so far,
Okay, yeah. So Gathering did actually win the bid and take Endless Library, which helps you get lore, which, as we've seen from the past few games of this Invitational, is very, very powerful, because it lets you have access to some of your more powerful advanced set of power cards, which every faction has a unique set of. And Clans winning or being second in the bid has chosen to go for the Old King Signet, which is also a quite nice early kingdom card to get, especially because of the increase in hand size and potentially increased influence, which probably would be what I would go for as well. And the final card being picked up here by nobility is the Old King's Helm, which is essentially a pretty nice sort of safety net, which says that whenever one of your cards is eliminated, you can move it back to your hand rather than moving it to the lost pile or the discard pile, depending on whether the card is resilient. So I think all of these are pretty logical choices here. I don't think the Siren's Pool is that useful in this opening round. It can be very useful towards the later stage of the game because it helps you sort of steal influence from all the other heralds that are there, but not something you really want to see early because you don't have really any guarantee that you can steal from anyone. So I think all of the choices make a lot of sense here.
Maybe I'll just go there.
Signet, I think, is probably the riskiest pull right now. I mean, I've just seen people totally collapse with this card before, because if you end up losing it, you could attrition twice in a single turn.
Could, yeah. It does help you start off the game with a higher hand size, so that can be pretty neat, I would say. I think definitely gathering with the 8-bit had got the most value out of that round.
Totally agree. I mean,
access to...
we could see depending on what Nixx does, like a massive point burst, or not point burst, but like lore burst early with gathering. I mean, wasn't there a game where Skarn bought like most of his Site of Power cards in the first round?
I think usually that involves some sort of shenanigans with the Beacon, which is another kingdom card that we haven't seen appear yet, which says that when you actually acquire the Beacon, you immediately take card from your Site of Power with the lowest lore cost. So gathering have access to a very powerful tactic called Moonlight Forages, which essentially allows you to dig through the discard pile and get the use of a kingdom card that has already been discarded one more time. So essentially, you can use Beacon twice in the same round. And if it does come up, we'll highlight it and to show everyone what we mean. But yeah, that is definitely possible. So gathering can do some really wonky stuff with kingdom cards. But specifically, I would say that Endless Library really helps with, really combos really well with opportunities that players can use to journey. And one of the prime ways that you can accelerate lore is actually via the Wilderness. And winning the Wilderness, which is one of the locations in the Highlands, which says that aside from gaining the 1 influence, you can journey with a card that's either active on your hand, right? So the Endless Library passive, which adds 1 lore value to all of your faction cards with exactly 1 printed lore, applies to that as well. So essentially that's a way that you could get more value out of this. But it seems like in this case, Gathering, even though they have Endless Library, have chosen to commit or potentially commit more towards the plateau, which is the middle region, because they've already placed the Herald there, and it seems like they do place quite a bit of value on the Harvest Field. And I think that makes a lot of sense here, since you're not really sure where other players will commit, and it seems like Nobility and Clans have both decided to prioritize the Highlands, which probably makes it a lot more difficult for Gathering to contest anyway. Given that Gathering is a faction that slowly builds up to a point that are really, really strong, and they can really get tricksy with the different tactics that they have, but usually that involves some amount of their cards being in the lost pile and allows them to interact with that. So I would say compared to the other 2 factions in this opening round, Gathering would start off a little bit weaker than what you would typically expect.
Yeah, I feel like because we have no Uprising in this game, we're not seeing Harvest Field get contested as aggressively as we normally might. Since it is so useful for getting their game plan off the ground. I'm just gonna swap these cards because I'm feeling really pedantic.
Take it.
It's bothering me as well.
Okay, so we can start resolving.
Right, so seems like we are heading straight into the clashes for round 1. I think, yeah, Clans was the one that was deciding the order.
Oh, wow. Okay. Air's coming out to play.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, actually. So, typically, an Air would be the strongest card in every player's starting deck in terms of raw strength, because 10 is usually the highest number in there.
You guys.
And usually, you would expect that the Air would go on to where someone has placed a Herald, because that essentially gives them mathematically the highest chance of winning that region. In this case, it's interesting because both nobility and clans who have placed their heralds on the top region
Okay.
opted to place the heralds in the bottom, their heirs in the bottom region.
Perfect.
And currently, because of the extra supporter, the clans have decided to commit there. I think Nevakanezah on clans is going to take the bottom region,
So
which is really well played.
Did I miss
And I think
something?
this is only possible.
How did Nixx retreat his heir?
I think Nixx put a ruse there instead of his
Oh,
heir,
it was
so
a
that wasn't
ruse.
his heir.
That's right. Yeah.
That was a ruse.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think the extra supporter play here was only really possible because Nevakanezah was going later in the turn order compared to nobility. So seeing that nobility had committed one supporter to the lowlands, decided to commit two, in the chance that nobility had actually placed their heir on the lowlands, and that was a pretty good read by Nevakanezah here. So yeah, being able to win the lowlands. However, I will say that
at the start of the round that ends up with something.
having the lowlands as the first region to resolve means that actually you don't get that much value out of the location reward, because both the shrine and necropolis really benefit from, well, the shrine benefits from having more active cards that are currently in play.
Yep.
Right? Whereas the necropolis benefits from you already having cards in your discard pile. In this case, because clans has chosen to resolve it first, actually even winning it doesn't really get you that much benefit because you don't really have that many cards active for shrine, and for the first round you don't really have any cards in the discard pile for necropolis. So it is a little bit awkward here. So I think they've just chosen to opt to gain one influence and declined to resolve the location war because you want to rally the air back into your hand anyway. Yeah, it seems like in the middle region, Gathering, who has placed their herald onto the harvest field, has, as I would say is more expected, placed their heir as well in that region. So definitely a win in the Gathering here. So allowing them to get the kingdom's favor back.
Yeah, I
or just claim the
wonder.
kingdom's favor for this round.
I wonder if this might have been a good opportunity for Nev to use sea lanes, because that applies to your heir, right?
Does apply to your heir, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been an opportunity to flank his heir around and maybe contest some of these regions more effectively.
Potentially, yes. It's interesting because now I'm really curious as to what plays have placed in the Highlands. If I had to guess, I think the fact that Pablo on Nobility has decided to place a supporter each into the Highland and the Lowlands would imply to me that he might have a ruse on the Highlands, because in this case, even if he doesn't have the ability to win that clash, he can just retreat both the heir and the supporter back along with his ruse. Which also probably might tell me that he does have a agent in his hand, and it's just sort of hedging between both being able to win both the Highlands and the Lowlands with this play. So let's see what it ends up being on. That's currently my read, at least.
That makes a ton of sense. We have a great call out from Skarn in the chat that Nev should actually have an extra influence because of the Old King's signet, and his hand size should be higher. So I'm going to pop in the chat and just let him know.
Yeah.
So you should have 1 plus 1 for your herald there. So you
Oh
get
yeah, of
2.
course, yeah.
Perfect.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to pop in and say, Nevakanezah, you should read your kingdom card again. You should have more points and a higher hand size than you currently do.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Carry on.
Very good.
That makes
Shout out, Scar.
sense to me.
Look, it's been 5 minutes. We've already found 4 occasions where I cannot read.
All right. Now that we've reminded Nev how to read,
So
let's see what we got here. Okay. Looks like a win for nobility.
So in this case, choosing to does look like a win for nobility. So
Set this up.
didn't make that good a read this time.
But yes, that would have.
I mean, seems like it would be a pretty easy win for nobility. I don't think that there's anything that clans or Gathering can really do about this.
No, I don't think so either.
So really nice win on the castle. Yeah.
That's a good start for
Let's see
nobility
what
for sure.
nobility decides. Yeah, definitely. So I'm curious to see where nobility decides to govern with winning the castle.
This
or which card that they choose to govern with. So it could be with, for example, their merchant. In this case, I think that's what is going to be chosen because Guild of Dawn Traders, which is the merchant of the nobility, has 2 votes. So it seems like Pablo has opted to go for that option. He did have the other option to use Master of Arms for just 1 vote, but in this case has prioritized having the extra vote rather than the extra law that's currently on Guild of Dawn Traders. And actually in this case you also give up the Rally 2 option for Guild of Dawn Traders. So yeah, I would say it's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I typically like to keep these out because Rally is such a flexible and strong option. But I mean, with this in Council of Secrets so early, and then maybe even being able to govern a 3rd vote in there, he can start just piling up advantage from Council of Secrets, which could be very strong for him.
Yeah, totally. Seems like Pablo has gone with that plan.
Govern phase, I would probably...
Alright, let's see what Nixx decides to do with his Autumn here. I'm expecting a decent amount of lore generation.
Send this guy into the wild.
He goes to discard.
Gathering is going first with Autumn actions and
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I would get 2.
it's governing with
library.
a captain.
Yep. Endless Library will
So already
double that
season
lore
one.
gen for him.
My friend,
Absolutely.
nice.
But immediately going for Bring of the Word. I would say this is a fairly risky play, in my opinion.
No thing to play with, maybe.
Yeah,
Should I-
yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
currently
mean,
nobility
Pablo
has Witch
could
Trial.
just immediately Witch Trial this.
Good, yeah. I
And
would say that makes this buy fairly risky.
You are free to govern.
oh yeah, to get
if you
Excuse
want to. So because you get a free journey and govern action, you could govern with that very card that you just bought.
Pablo being a nice sport and reminding Nixx that
okay.
you can do the autumn actions such as governing or journeying or activating any autumn actions in any order you want. So in this case, after journeying with
I will
the captain to gain 2 law and using the 2 law to buy Bring of the Word, you can then govern with Bring of the Word and put them into any council that you
Yep,
you want.
and start activating councils too. It is a pretty effective way to go.
is,
Scarred
yeah.
is noting in the chat that Pablo is just setting him up to tear him down with witch trials.
so I can put the marker here.
Don't always have to use Witch Trial just immediately anyway. I would say in this case, I probably wouldn't. And mainly because
One here.
Nixx actually does not have any supporters to take back, so it doesn't really benefit that well from it.
Because you now have an automatic.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see
mean,
how
it
it
is
goes.
generally the best place to put Bringer, I feel like, because it's the least contested council, typically. But it is unfortunate that he's not going to actually see any value from activating it this round.
Less used to the game.
So that's one of the important parts about the game, is having a little bit of foresight and thinking about what sort of things you want to prioritize. Because if you know that you're already going to govern, if for example in the Council of Orbs, or you knew that you probably would have bought a certain kingdom card that you want, a certain advanced side of power card that you want to govern with, then maybe you could already be placing some supporters at the start of the game or at that round, so that you can benefit off of councils that you put them in. That's something that players should constantly be mindful of, thinking about what happens not in the entire round and subsequent rounds as well.
Absolutely. I mean, and that sequencing that you can do in the autumn round, I would say, is definitely one of the coolest like pieces of skill expression in this game, because you can pull off some really
100%, yeah.
cool stuff.
So
Totally. And I think in this case, players are usually, I would say, in the Invitational so far, have been really, really friendly and allowing people to sort of reorder them however they like, in case they realize that a certain line would be better. But I can imagine that in a much more competitive setting, there wouldn't be any take-backsies, right? So something players should think about before they just activate different autumn actions.
Okay, so
So moving over to nobility, I would actually decide to not actually use Witch Trial here.
Mark,
Mainly because I could definitely get more value out of it, and I think what Bring of the Word is currently doing is not that threatening to me.
be able to trigger.
And importantly, because all of the players are on the same influence,
So you just get
what's going to happen with the turn or the next round is just simply going to inverse itself, right? So clans will be going first, followed by nobility, followed by gathering. So what this means is that nobility will be ahead in gathering for round 2, which allows them the opportunity to use Witch Trial before Gathering can actually use the autumn action of Council of Wolves if Nobility really feels that Gathering is pulling hit from the round 2 results and being really threatening to the table. So he does have a chance to police him before Gathering can benefit out of Bring of the Word, which means that you don't really have to use it right now. So let's see if Pablo decides to.
So Pablo right now is activating his Council of Secrets to place some tiles on the board. It looks like he's choosing to prioritize Wilderness.
So that's 2 there.
And he has a third tile that he can place as well.
Take the card back to my hand.
He's rallying. Or no, he only has 2 tiles. Excuse me. That was incorrect. All right.
Yeah, so I think just having prioritizing the Wilderness using Council of Secrets, definitely a very logical choice. I'd say all of them, as well, aside from Battlefield, are pretty good choices. But Pablo seems to be prioritizing more on the ability to get more lore, so he can access some of his other side of power cards, which I think makes a lot of sense. And it would be interesting as well if Pablo does decide to, for example, steal the Endless Library from Gathering at some point and combo that using with the Council of Secrets activation of Wilderness, which allows him to get that double journey that we talked about to increase the value they can get from Endless Library. So let's see if he decides to go for that play eventually.
Absolutely. And I am so sorry. I'm going to totally butcher your name. Circre Valier Malfert? Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the game.
Over to Clans for the autumn actions. He's still thinking about it. He's already rallied the air, which, is actually one of the most automatic things you can do.
Yeah,
As
that
an autumn
sequencing
action.
matters far less, I feel like. So we're going to see a journey for a singular lore.
Look at the art on these clan cards. I think they are just amazing.
I know, right? I love this one.
Amazing job on the clan cards. Yeah, I'm so jealous as someone who really supports Gathering is that when another faction gets such amazing art. I think all of them really have beautiful art.
Oh, I completely agree. And we've got some
So
folks
it
in the
seems
chat
like-
popping off for Nev. Let's see what he can do.
So it seems like a deploy
I don't have anything
the
to.
War Machine by Clans onto the Highlands, as well as a journey using a follower. Makes sense. And the last card in hand is probably air, which is unlikely to go into Darwin, I guess. Yep. So it seems like that is we're moving to cleanup. Heading into round 2.
All right.
Right.
Well,
So looking ahead at the Kingdom card row, a couple of nice choices have appeared here. I think
yeah, more lore gen for sure. So that could be more strong econ for folks.
Yep,
Of course,
definitely.
everyone's favorite Unearthed Iron Gear has decided to be a fan favorite and show up again.
There we go.
I think really I wouldn't be unhappy with any of these cards if you ask me. I think my lowest priority on this row right now would be Monument Builders. The passive influence is really nice, but I think having a stronger economy or having just higher impact right now probably makes more sense than Monument Builders, which is still quite nice. And I imagine that Clans wouldn't be going for Monument Builders since they don't have a card in the council, but definitely something that's worth a pickup from both Gathering and Clans, Gathering Nobility, who already have cards in the council, so they can benefit off Monument Builders immediately this round.
Yeah, I think
but
we
like you
could
said, I think-
potentially see a Monument Builders, like,
Let me just pull up.
Witch Trial kind of power play out of Pablo if
Could
he
be,
decides to go for
Definitely.
something a little bit more aggressive.
I think that's definitely a viable option for Pablo here,
Especially in the second round of the game.
since it is quite a bit of influence that you can cash in on by next round.
Yeah.
Transparency.
And so I think between all of the Kingdom cards, so Pablo has already started to ping Remote Bothies and ping Unearthed Iron Gear first, and I think those make a lot of sense. As you mentioned, lore economy is really strong, and we've already seen one powerful lore economy card, which is in the form of Endless Library in the hands of Gathering, and I think Remote Bothies is the alternative, which is potentially very powerful as well.
Rated, so now
Completely agree.
Although I will say that I think Gathering might be less incentivized to take Remote Bothies, not only because they have Endless Library, but they don't actually have lore in their supply, and if you actually read Remote Bothies in spring, unless you already have lore in your supply, you
okay, with all of
going
our
to-
be gaining influence,
Yep.
right? So for Gathering currently, this would be worth 1 influence, which matters a lot less than 1 lore in this stage of the game.
All right, we
and
see
so-
high bids
Ooh.
again.
Yeah, really high bids. I'm not really sure what I pick here as scattering because enough Angear is a bit
Okay.
awkward. Okay, so he just decides to deny
Hang on, is that your...
normal thieves from everyone else, despite the fact that he wouldn't gain the lore.
Using all my good cards to get.
I think it's still fine.
now.
Still really nice.
That...
I wouldn't be as incentivized by Unearthed Iron Gear if I was gathering, mainly because they currently still have access to their Kingdom's Favor, which plays a very similar role, but Unearthed Iron Gear would do.
Yes.
So, and Clan's very nicely picking that up,
Speed of light.
or because they already have a pretty good use case for it right now, because they currently have their War Machine deployed on the top region, and the baseline for Unearthed Iron Gear in this case is being able to take the War Machine back into the hand and deploy it again in Autumn, which essentially means that they have a permanent sword that's left of permanent 5 strength. They can sort of move around as long as they have continual access to Unearthed Iron Gear.
Yeah, I
And so
completely
Pablo
agree.
now,
And I think with Old King's Signet too, Nev really needs to prevent attrition as much as possible, and Gear is just one of the best cards in the game for doing that.
I think he might have forgotten to again drop 7 actually, because he currently only has 5 cards in his hand and has bid with 1 card and actually just forgot to draw another card.
I will let him know. 1 second.
There we go.
That's the spirit.
I'm just cash. That's my strategy. Cold hard.
Hi, friends. I have a message for Nevakanezah. Make sure to draw up to your hand size.
I thought I did.
Did you not?
What was it you said? I have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in hand, right?
I believe I did.
You should have 7.
You should have one more.
I deployed the one more in autumn. That's why my count was wrong.
But that's in autumn, yeah, so... And then, yeah, this is the card you bid with. Okay, that should be correct.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so we can now place our herald.
2 choices of the Oak King's
I
Eye
like how they
versus
thanked you,
the
even though I
Wonder
came
Wielders.
in and told them. They know. They know it was you who noticed that. Alright, so now we have folks placing their heralds. Looks like we are gonna see another contest for the wilderness. I feel like Pablo is probably gonna push back. I feel like he wants castle.
I think he needs to contest too heavily for it. Because even without castle, you can.
mhm.
Well, I guess it would help with modern builders quite a bit if he does manage to win the castle, but I think the chances of him actually wanting to win the top region is not as high. Especially because Clans already has a War Machine deployed there. I think if Pablo wanted to win, could just blow all of his supporters
Yes.
to the Highlands and use School of the Stones, but given that he doesn't have all of his supporters right now because he used 2 of them in round 1, he might be more incentivized to try and govern into Council of Oaths in order to get his supporters back before he goes for this play.
Do you swear?
Yeah, kind of go for more of a building round rather than the aggressive counterplay against Nevakanezah right now.
Okay, another place card.
So it seems like Gathering has again, or all the players have decided to do their own thing. And so Gathering is back onto Plateau now, trying to go for the battlefield because in this case they already have the Kingdom's Favor.
Yeah, and
awesome.
Gathering is potentially set up for a Herald bump, thanks to Bring Over the Word. So that could be a pretty
Yeah,
decent
totally.
point swing for them.
We'll say that something important to take note of is that Pablo still has access to Oak King's Helm. And one of the powerful things that Oak King's Helm actually lets you do is really abuse or overcome the weakness of an agent, which is that if there are any other followers in the agent's region, it will get eliminated. So because Oak King's Helm says that whenever one of your cards is eliminated, you move it back to your hand. The downside of having the agent there, or sort of the risk of putting your agent more haphazardly, without any sort of information or without a ruse, for example, is pretty much negated because of Oak King's Helm. Because you can just place it into any region that you want, and if there is a follower there, you don't have the downside of losing an agent permanently. But if there's no follow with it, you might just get yourself a free win in that region. So Pablo can be really haphazard with O King's Helm here.
Yes.
So that's something players definitely need to take note of.
Yeah, we haven't seen any agents actually get played yet. I think we're going to see them come out this round.
Potentially, I think ruses and agents are definitely going to be coming into play here. Because I've pretty much drawn a lot of their starting deck.
We know Gathering has their ruse, and it's pretty likely that Nev has drawn into his too, considering what his hand size has been.
Yeah.
Andrew popping off in the chat saying, oh, we're seeing a School of the Storms play from Nevakanezah.
School of Storms mean
So this signals to me that Nevakanezah might have a ruse in one of the regions. So this way,
supporter.
having all the waves, which is their war machine on the top, on the Highlands, gives them 2 active cards compared to everyone's 1. Lets them get 1 more, and by having a ruse in another of the regions and ambushing another card in, it lets you benefit off the ruse, or benefit off the effect again, which is a nice setup in this case.
I think we're
So
gonna
that's-
see him apply flank to Hall of the Waves too, with sea lanes. I think that would be really smart, because then he could flank this into all 3 regions.
Potentially, but you don't get the effects of
thank you.
School of the Storms
Right.
until the clash is resolved. Flank happens before clash is resolved, so
Oh, that is a really
using
good
ceilings
point.
here would just be purely tactical, I would say. So let's see how he decides to approach this round.
I'm not going to place any more supporters because my supporter supply is kind of low.
So Pablo,
Not.
well, at least Nevakanezah recognizing that probably Pablo doesn't want to invest for supporters just to deny him or police him from the influence from School of the Storms.
Will.
Especially because Pablo does want to save up enough supporters to pull off a nice School of the Stones play of his own. And that currently doesn't have any votes in the Council of Wolves. So, see what pathway he decides to take with this. Oh, interesting. Alright, so Nixx is placing supporters into the Highlands
Do you think
in order to police this.
we could see... probably not School of the Stars. There's nothing really in the Lost pile yet.
Yeah, probably not. I think he's just placing the supporters there in anticipation of the fact that he can deny the influence from School of the Storms. So I think he mentioned that himself, that he wants to police it. And another thing to take note of is because Bringer of the Word is currently in the Council of Wolves, he can actually take these supporters back.
Yeah.
Assuming that Pablo doesn't decide to use Witch Trial in the autumn immediately before Nixx can take his turn.
Alright, so... seems like we probably are going to see some flank shenanigans into that top region.
Okay, everyone happy?
Potentially, yeah.
Good.
Again, Lowlands being resolved as the first region, meaning that probably won't have that much effect if you choose to resolve Shrine.
Yep, there's
And-
the flank. Alright.
Yeah, nice flanking. Alright. Nice read from Nevakanezah.
And
For the cavalry card onto the bottom region first, and this helps him definitely guarantee School of the Storms in terms of having more active cards than other players. Because he has 2 in each of the other regions, which I think should almost guarantee getting him at least 2 lore this round, which is a really nice, I would say, really nice for School of the Storms.
Yeah.
No, sorry. So Nevakanezah actually had the choice of picking.
Exactly. School of the
the clash
Storms, he
market. Yeah.
set it up. He set it up.
Yeah, he totally set this one up.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about that. Yeah.
Just go back home. It's just in for show, you know.
Alright.
So Nixx
We
just
see a
retreating the
retreat.
rules again from the Lowlands. Yeah. I
Take
would say primarily because this is the first region that's being resolved, so again, not really much value from Shrine and Acropolis right now. So choosing to retreat and just keep the ruse in hand for more tricksy plays later on.
card plays, but
More importantly, ruse acts as a card that sort of staves off one attrition in a sense, because usually every player will need to commit 1 card to each of the regions, whereas if you just retreated a ruse, it's as if you didn't commit a card to that region anyway.
So I got 2 influence, so I'm
So in this case, just taking the ruse back into hand
discard pile.
Alright.
and helping him a bit with attrition.
Resolving Necropolis there. It looks like he just had his 9 in his discard, right? So,
Yep, because he governed with the merchant that was in the plateau just now, and he rallied the airback. So the only thing that was in his discard was the Master of Arms.
all in all, not bad. Not bad value out of that for Pablo, I would say. But I'll be interested to see...
Good luck, everyone. 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay. Agent.
Ooh, that's really rough. So here we can see that
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Pablo is caught actually. Yeah, Gathering has been caught with their merchant in the same region as an agent,
I have no
which
change.
is going to cause that to get eliminated. You can see here that that's exactly what I mentioned, where Pablo can be really haphazard with how he chooses to place his agent.
I think.
Yeah.
'Cause,
So
yeah, you can just take it
we'll
back to hand
see
using Open
Nev
Town.
rescue his
I guess that's
his
true.
cavalry unit at the very least. Although that will forego. Oh no, he'll still get the bonus because that agent's going to be
Oh,
eliminated.
yeah.
Yep.
Exactly, yeah. I'm really surprised by this because Nixx has decided to place his merchant onto the same region as where his herald is.
So
And where I would figure he might have wanted to contest it a bit more aggressively.
Can I like
Yeah.
save this card by doing where is it? This. Even if the because the card is not active, right?
no.
Yep. Unfortunately, Out Beyond the Lights is not going to save him here.
However, your faction quite likes things in the lost pile, and there's ways of.
But this implies to me that I think Nixx might have his, or Gathering might have their heir in the top region.
This was especially.
Which is also an interesting choice, I think. I don't think it's that easy to contest a region, especially when someone already had War Machine deployed there.
Okay, so with that, my card gets knocked out. Now it would go to the lost pile normally, but because of the Old King's Helm,
Okay.
so Pablo
Yep. Good use of Old King's
playing
Helm.
really well. Yeah,
this card goes to.
does actually give a sort of give the win to Nevakanezah here,
You have the most
In a
cards
sense.
in the region.
but I'd say that yeah, did a really nice snipe on Gathering here.
With
Yeah.
a Winky card.
So 2 points.
So
So
Nev
actually,
choosing to take
Nevakanezah,
Battlefield.
Interesting. Okay, so not feeling that enticed by
Yeah, so
sort of the waves.
take this. It's
In
2
this
points.
case,
Take this.
Yeah,
and
I'm
deciding
I'm
that,
surprised.
Gathering
I
gets
think
to
he should
keep-
really take Harvest Field here.
maybe Nevakanezah just prioritizing the influence, which I think also is perfectly logical. And given the Gathering is not going to be able to use
Probably.
their Kingdom's Favor this round and didn't get to use it last round either, maybe it might be pretty okay letting Gathering keep the Harvest Field because it's not really as threatening.
Okay, final region.
Do I get the lore for
you
most cards?
don't because you.
Yes, you do, Nevakanezah. Yes, you do.
Oh, you have the most cards. Apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies. So in fact,
And so probably also sort of giving the
you should only get.
lore essentially over and allowing Nevakanezah to just flank into the top region.
Yeah. So
I
you.
think what would be
Did
really brutal
he
here is
end up
if
taking
Nixx
the
actually play an
favor?
agent in the top row.
Okay, he did take the favor, so he needs to
He
just
did take the
put a
favor,
lore
gotcha.
back or an influence back, which he's
I think he
doing.
just did
Okay,
so,
good.
yeah.
Which, by the way, I think is the right. That's right.
There. I have correct.
Right. So in this case, choosing to take
Okay.
the
And
waves.
final
Which
one.
also makes sense, yeah, like you said.
3, 2, 1.
All right, like you called, the
Yeah.
air is right there.
Yeah, which is quite surprising.
Me again.
I'm being pinged.
So at least in this case, Nevakanezah actually is tied for strength right now, so it's actually forcing Nevakanezah to ambush rather than just retreat.
Yeah, but I mean, with his hand size, I'm sure he's got an invincible card that he can just ambush in there. All
I
he
think you
needs
probably
is a
just
one.
throw in the air actually. I think throwing in the air here makes a lot of sense because air does get you an extra win with the
Oh,
air,
that's a
which
great
is
point with
an
the
additional
signet.
influence from opening signet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also has Untitled gear to really retrieve cards that he wants to play again.
To just
So would say this is a pretty easy choice to ambush in the air here.
Yeah.
Even if I had
Yeah, and it's
an
just going to
agent,
come
for
back to
example,
his
I
hand
probably
because it's
wouldn't
going to
be too
rally
enticed.
itself.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see what Nev decides to do.
Yeah. Probably here, ambushing in the air. I would imagine using Wilderness to journey with maybe the flank cavalry card. And that's really sets him up to do
Well,
really powerful things.
Yeah.
Slow, fast,
Currently, Nevakanezah's already on 2 lore.
do here.
keep saying
Not really sure from what the 2 lore is from. Did he win
I'm just so slow.
Wilderness last round?
Wee little goblin.
So what are we seeing here from Gathering?
Everything in the kingdom, but I'm so pathetic.
That's
That's me. Even if you knock me out, I'll bounce through.
I'm not sure actually.
Oh, sorry, Nixx. I was ambushing that in with the ruse.
Yeah, I think there was a
Yeah. So there was a slight confusion, yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
he thought that they were tied for another clash.
Um,
So that's different.
Just want to check. I might check in later because I'm not sure how.
He was tied here for 10, but he also had this card, so he technically had 3 cards here.
Yes.
Lens has 2 law already.
So
I
yeah.
think he should only have 1.
So I cannot win anymore. So I'm not sure I can do anything about this.
I think they only took a journey action
No.
last round, which is only for 1 and has not gotten
Nixx is gonna have it.
anything else.
do you want to just pop into the chat and just go confirm with them?
Yeah, sure.
Child wins it again.
Oh. Ugh.
Go, my child soldier.
And Nev,
Okay, so just remember, you don't have the most here, but you
Yes.
do have the most cards by a ridiculous amount. So you will get a lore, and if you take this here, you will get 2 influence. And then you can journey.
Yeah.
False alarm. I completely now remember why there was an extra law. Because of School of the Storms.
it was
which got an
Storms,
extra law
right?
from-
Yeah.
Yeah. Now as I look at it, it now reminds me of why that was the case. Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense.
When given the
But actually, because of this win,
efficiency.
I think clans might be really set up to get riders really early in this game. Potentially. If they do have their trader in their hand
For example, this has got path.
now by winning Wilderness, so they will get 1 law from School of the Storms, bringing them up to 3. They could now journey with a card that's active or in their hand by winning the Wilderness. So journeying with any of the cards from the board would give them another lore, bring them up to 4.
Crap.
And
Probably would have burned all of
yeah, just journeying with any card in hand gives them riders
Yeah.
immediately on round 3, which I think is really powerful.
Let's see if Nev decides to do that.
What we're going to do is probably journey the small boy.
Journey. The lad goes on a journey.
We'll run out for the small boy.
He had a good life.
I mean, he did actually win. He won his region for his faction, and then you sent him away.
Now, did I already get my lore? Does the spectating audience know? Because I don't think I got my influence yet. In fact, I'm certain I did not.
Thank you, Winter Knight.
I'm not sure whether you grabbed your lore or not.
All right, so I have my lore. I grabbed 2 influence for winning my herald location. I journey the small boy.
So you should get 1 more lore, giving you a total of 4.
Pablo has done the math right.
Yep.
And I think
I would say that
and
this is definitely the play I would go here if I were cleanse.
You
Mainly because I still have access to Unearthed Iron Gear,
otherwise you have to wait until.
which is really powerful, as you can imagine, if you have access to a really powerful faction card.
Absolutely.
So he's really set up to do lots of
Yeah.
very scary things moving from round 3 onwards, especially because this round he can still use Unearthed Iron Gear to haul upon the waves.
Yep. I
Then
think that's going
deploy.
straight back into play.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, he has salt toughness
I'm
too.
surprised.
Sorry, but
That is true, yeah. Salt Dancers can be really powerful here.
acts a little bit like.
I am surprised that he didn't
So it would allow you to just target one.
Didn't pull in his air.
push his air in. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that would have been extra 1 influence for sure.
Card.
Yeah.
And you can just
My
rally back to hand anyway.
he might have just forgotten about the signet, honestly.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, he did forget about the hand size already, so wouldn't be surprised that he forgot about the influence on the potential influence on Signet.
Yeah.
I think I forgot about this. I'm surprised it was supposed to be spring. I thought it would be at the end of a turn or something.
Which one's this?
Both these.
This
Oh,
one.
yes.
So Gathering completely forgetting about remote both these.
Totally fine to do that because it would change literally no outcome.
And we're choosing kindness
You don't
again.
have any lore, so you would just get. You would actually get an influence.
Yeah, no complaints.
Oh, he forgot about Boppy. Yeah.
Like that.
So I think moving into round 3, I think Clans is really favored here because of the fact that they have access to their most powerful Kingdom Advanced Faction card.
Yeah.
They have so many ways to recur it. Even if they would lose Unearthed Iron Gear, they still have access to Soft Toughness, which can happen subsequent round.
Right. All three is.
Yeah, so really powerful here.
However, if you take this one back,
If I were Clans, I probably would take back
free to just play
All Upon the Waves, which is the War Machine, using Unearthed Iron Gear, so I can redeploy it, and that really sets you up to win multiple regions next round.
do something
Yep.
with those symbols. That's going to open you up to doing those things. So if you drew
Pablo can't help himself but help out his opponents. What a kind guy.
dickhead.
Really wants his child to be named to be decided by someone else.
To be named Nevakanezah Jr.
Play it back to your hand and
I think that's probably the mildest name I think Nevakanezah would think of to name Pablo's child.
So Skarn, they've decided to build the Lost Pile over here for some reason. This is what it's looking like right now.
And just bring all this crap back to my hand because ultimately my decision is I have too much activity out on the board in these cards, and I want to maintain that for.
All right, we're gonna see Salt Toughness.
Okay, nice.
Which means I journey Grandma.
Rip Grandma. Rip Grandma. You're dead now.
One thing to know,
Yeah.
I think Nevakanezah is already journeyed with 3 of his 4 followers, which does make him a bit more vulnerable
Squishy.
to agents in general.
But he's got riders. That's a round 2 riders, folks.
does have riders.
That's real good. That's real good.
And immediately governs Purser into the Council of Oaths, which is their merchant,
Wow.
which gets them the most votes in Council of Oaths right now, allowing them to retrieve 3 supporters actually.
Wow.
Really powerful.
Big moves from Nev. Big news from Nev.
And I think now people might be really incentivized to use Witch Trial onto Council of Oaths now.
Yeah. Witch Trials is
because that has
100%
both-
happening.
Yeah. I think both Bring Up the Word and a 2 vote from both opponents into Council of Oaths.
Of this, you actually
Yeah.
have the most votes here, and so this counts out.
Okay, so I thought Pablo was about to immediately say, because you did that, I'm just going to immediately use Witch Trial. But he was just pointing
We'll
it out
get
that
there.
he can gain 3 supporters back. Yeah. I think Pablo might still end up doing it because now Council of Oaths or using it to kick out all the cards of Council of Oaths is really tempting.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, let's see what Pablo does.
so,
Hmm?
let's look what I'm going to do. Let's see what I'm going to do. Okay, well, I am.
Interesting. So Pablo is choosing to not use Witch Trial, which
Okay, he's just
I
contesting.
think is also an interesting choice. Just contesting normally.
And I'm going to take both of these support.
So that still lets him get both of his supporters back.
Yep.
But-
So he's back at max
This was-
supporters. We could see a School of the Stones next round for sure.
I think that's what we're definitely looking to see happen here.
Trigger.
So he'll rally his heir as well.
So lets me place 2 votes.
And Council of
We have
Secrets.
4 votes somewhere.
Yeah, on Wilderness again, which allows him to fully trigger Wilderness and allows him to journey an extra time.
Don't get
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense here.
I'll just do it. So I act out. So I place 2 more votes here, giving me a total of 4,
Yep.
and then I remove those 4.
So that's a free
Let's see
activation
if
of
Pablo decides
Wilderness.
to buy anything.
Taught this game so
Hmm?
many times that he can't escape it, even when he's playing.
I have it. I do it in my sleep sometimes. Okay.
A couple of choices that Pablo can go for here. He would be up to 3 law using the combination of the law from the Wilderness as well as the normal journey action from
So
Autumn.
the hunting parties are gonna go
So
1.
of options he could go for. He could go for Royal Bank, which gives him a lot of steady influence gain.
I get. I triggered it using this.
Or could decide to take Gilded Wall, which does set him up
So now
if
I'm
he's
gonna
going to intend to use School of the Stones next round.
This says Pathfinder, so it just goes into my discard pile, and I get.
So just to kind of explain what Pablo's doing, he got a free journey. He's taking another journey from hand. That's going to set him up with 3 lore, which he could now potentially spend on a card. And I think we're going to see Royal Bank get picked up.
Oh, I could just go full. I just could go full.
Currently, in my mind, I think I have a really high priority if I was in mobility or gathering shoes which is to ensure that Unearthed Iron Gear gets stolen. Because I think letting clans reuse riders every single round is going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've already governed. Oh well, that was my own stupid fault. That was my own.
And so now I think Pablo probably bought the card that I wouldn't have gone for the most out of all the options. He chose to go for High Court.
Yeah, because
which-
as he's realizing, he already governed, so he can't govern that this round.
Exactly.
I think Royal Bank would have been the correct choice there.
For this.
Yep.
And
I see an option for either Royal Bank or
okay, there we go. Pass.
Gilded Wall,
Okay.
just as a means of having more ways to
We'll start.
stuff with clans' plans.
Yeah.
I might have opted to actually go for Viceroy as well, because like I mentioned, I think stealing
Yeah.
Unearthed Iron Gear is a really high priority for me, and I think just buying the Viceroy in order to steal Unearthed Iron Gear might be really strong.
So,
And given the fact that
so
ability has also managed to gain access to that War Machine, I would say that the base value of Unearthed Iron Gear has already gone up pretty high, because you can at least just get the War Machine back and put it back down.
yes, here.
So probably might have been what I would have gone for, at least if I wanted to
I
police
think it's very like
clans a bit more.
Yeah.
I think the game is really, really close in terms of influence right now.
see me coming from
Nobility and clans tying and gathering being slightly behind.
journey.
But I would feel the most threatened
You-
by
You know he's coming
clans in general,
and there's
just because of the board state that they are setting up to do
This has
for round 3 and round 4.
actually.
Oh, I
means-
cannot even put it in the last pile. He doesn't want to
No.
be useful. Oh god.
Yeah.
Then is it the
So next year, wanting to journey with their heir to put
Yeah, to get him into the
high strength
lost
card
pile.
into the last pile, yeah, just to make use of
will
Um,
to the discard pile?
the synergies that the tricks that gathering can use with the lost file.
Invulnerable. You know,
Yeah.
if you do some of these tricks, so that's a good choice.
Thank you. And
I wonder if we might see a
someone
ritual sacrifice next round in order to get the burning wood, which is the war machine, into the lost pile.
the two.
Just to see that happens, or we see that happen here.
Is it too early to buy the door in the night? Probably not.
All right, so we're gonna see
so-
some ambush shenanigans.
Yeah,
No.
Going a knight, a very powerful
I just took my cards back.
shoe card from gathering, which allows them to essentially give any one of their active cards ambush,
Just you,
and potentially also allowing them to ambush directly from the discard pile. A
But
very, very powerful tool that can really mess with
No.
calculations in terms of clash strength.
I will also say
And we saw Bringer spawn another token into Oaths, which is interesting. I think I would have gone Relics, personally.
portion and ambush.
Set up for that big Herald bonus. I mean, if people are gonna let Bringer stick around, might as well try to cash it out while you can.
Really, yeah.
Okay, clean up. Yes. Oh, well, that's me blundered twice.
A little bit awkward here because now he's stuck with High Court in his hand, which he doesn't really want to keep in his hand. Usually you just want to immediately govern with High Court.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Let's... Okay, so Nev's gonna hit attrition. Going back down to 6 hand size.
Yeah, so I don't lose anything really.
Yeah, if Nev's in a good position, but if people decide to start policing him and taking his kingdom cards away, it could be... we could see the collapse.
Brief moment.
Really, yeah.
I was ahead.
Alright, what do we have on the Great Road?
So let's have a look at these. Emboldened Brigands, I like
So a couple of nice things I would say. Emboldened Brigands that Pablo has mentioned,
propaganda
I'd
advice.
say is generally a fairly... It sort of introduces a very interesting mini-game to you as the player who has Emboldened Brigands, which is that after you have acquired Emboldened Brigands, you want to be sort of stealing something every single round afterwards,
Yep,
because it gets you a passive influence every single round.
exactly.
And I would say in this case, yeah.
But nobody
it's
has
particularly
their
useful in this
captain,
case.
so I don't know how much stealing we're really gonna see.
Oh no.
Yeah, but Emboldened Brigands does give you an extra 3 strength to your playing card if you're using it to steal a kingdom card.
That's
so
a
it
good
doesn't
point.
always need to have captains to steal. And I would say, as mentioned, you really do want to be trying to police clans' access to the kingdom cards right now, especially under Dying Gear. So maybe that might be a nice option. Would say another nice option here is Engineer's Workshop, which says that your cards with Autumn Deploy gain Spring Deploy, very powerful. As well as in Autumn, you can place 1 influence on any of your active cards with Deploy, allowing them to essentially stick around for another turn.
Yeah.
And as you might be able to see currently on the board, every single player has deployed their War Machine. So definitely you already know that Engineer's Workshop can come into handy this round no matter what. So it's not necessarily like a future investment when you would see Engineer's Workshop before you saw a War Machine.
Yeah, I mean,
aside from that,
it seems to synergize perhaps best with what Nevakanezah has been building. You know, this kind of just like resilient, redeploy, unearth Dying Gear kind of style of play. I don't know if I would replace any of his kingdom cards with it though, honestly. He's got a
True,
good
yeah.
setup.
I wouldn't be that incentivized as Nevakanezah right now, because I think I would be really happy with just keeping Old King's Kingdom as well as keeping Unearthed Dying Gear here.
Yeah.
I will say that Scattering, one of the cards I'd be really incentivized to get now is actually the Boatman. Because the Boatman lets you swap a card in your hand with a card in your lost pile, and we did already point out that Garing did unfortunately lose Trader to a Nobility's Agent in the Plateau last round, so he does have a pretty nice target for the Boatman currently. Yeah, so it seems like Pablo has won the bid first with the 7.
All right.
But let's see what he decides to take.
I think, well, Brigands. Not a bad choice. Or Engineers. Or the Boatman. He's
I
keeping
think
us
I'd be
guessing.
really tempted with Engineers. Yeah, I'd be tempted by Engineers here.
I think I
because
would
he
take
does also have-
Engineers and set up School of the Stones and then just absolutely lock down a region.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'd be going for, and I probably would replace Oaking's Helm now, since that my agent is already in the Council of Oaths.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The card being there is well, the biggest use case of, or the most proactive use case, I would say, of Oaking's Helm is to be able to use your agent more carelessly. And in this case, that's not really available anymore, so probably I would replace Oaking's Helm, and I think Pablo seems to agree here.
Yep. Yeah, with so many invulnerable cards and, you know, agents kind of dealt with at this point, I don't think Old King's Helm was really providing all that much value.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
All right, so we're gonna see Nixx bid next. I feel like we're gonna see a Boatman take here. That just, to me, makes the most sense.
I think you definitely don't really need propaganda advisors since you're already last on the turn order.
Yeah.
But I think as clans, I might be tempted to take propaganda advisor just because you can decide
Is it my turn? Is it my turn?
slash order.
Yeah.
Which is really important for clans because of the fact that they have access to riders, which has flank, and they still have access to all 3 charges of sea lanes, which they can essentially spread out over round 3, round 4, and round 5.
These numbers can.
So being able to control the turn order is something I'd be really tempted to do as clans.
You have 6 and Never's got
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Making
I think I'd probably just replace Oaking Sigmund here. I think as much as it
Really?
hurts
And
to go
even
down
take
to
the
5
hit
hand
to your
size,
hand size?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, because you'd be down to 5 hand size, which I think is not terrible. This would need to be
Yeah,
a
and
bit
he's got a
more
pretty full
careful
deck.
with-
So it's not like he's gonna attrition.
I'm of a mind.
He does only have 2 cards in his deck currently, so potentially could attrition if he does
Wow.
be careless. But it seems like he's chosen to forego any of the kingdom cards on the Great Road, which I think I can also agree with.
Oh man,
Because
Watchtowers.
as you already mentioned, yeah, Watchtowers is coming out.
Board Brigands. Just here.
This is something for next round to think about. So.
Yeah, having both of these two out, that's interesting.
Okay.
One powers up stealing, and one prevents stealing. So
This up here. This is down.
So
all
interesting
right.
choice here.
So
Gavin has chosen to continue to contest the test nobility in the Highlands by choosing to place the War Machine there, despite having last say or last action in terms of where to place the War Machine.
yeah, I feel like this is good for Nevakanezah. I feel like if I were him, I would just take Battlefield or take a Lowlands region and let people just duke it out up north. He's already got his best
As
card.
Lens, yeah. Clans, I'll be pretty tempted to just try and win both
And I'm not.
the plateau and the lowlands. I think you are really set up for that.
Yeah.
You already have a war machine deployed in the bottom region. You probably have access to your agent.
My own.
Yeah, you definitely do have access to your agent and your ruse. Because now he's drawn his entire deck, so he definitely has access to both of them. And we saw him use Sword Toughness to take the ruse back to his hand.
Wait.
So definitely has access to that and has access to riders as well. So that's definitely a very powerful line they can take here.
It's up to you to decide whether
Yep.
that advice is poison.
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you're the archetype for it, really. You probably
I
could.
think Pablo is very sneakily and stealthily setting up for the Monument Builders minigame.
Oh yeah.
Probably might try to catch it in next round, I think. That's what I currently believe might happen here.
That's such a good call out. Yeah, if he can lock down castle, witch trials, load up the court. How much lore does he have? He doesn't have a ton of lore. Yeah. But
I
that
think he's definitely trying for at least, because he's now choosing to prioritize castle rather than wilderness. That's definitely a build-up he's going to get. And I would say that's pretty good in general, because it would give you 3 influence and frees up a kingdom card slot.
Yep.
It's pretty powerful in this case.
Yeah, and it would keep him competitive from the expected influence gain that we're probably going to see out of clans if things go their way this round.
Yeah. And I think if Pablo really wanted to win castle this round, he definitely could force the issue, because he does have access to School of the Stones and all 5 of the supporters.
Completely.
In reality, it's really hard to test if Pablo decides to commit everything to the Highlands.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ooh, that's very interesting. I think Nevakanezah might be setting himself up for not a very good play. But I think because he does have Prophet of the Waves, that still puts him in a safe position.
Yeah, he could bail himself out if it goes screwy. I mean, it depends on clash markers, honestly, because who's placing clash markers? It's Gathering. Gathering could really stuff him if they decide to resolve the top region last.
He could still run away, I think. That's true. But he could still move the Carol to the wilderness so that he can't get stolen from Pablo even if Pablo wins. So that's still perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I think in this case he's just losing. Nevakanezah is just losing the opportunity to score off his Herald, and I really don't think that he has any way to beat in that region, even though he has access to riders. Mainly because Nobility has access to, as I mentioned, School of the Stones, which is a lot of strength to try and beat, and also has martial law with a war machine deployed in that region. So even if clans had all the flank in the world, you wouldn't actually be able to flank into that region anyway. So
Choices.
I think.
Currently, that's only because of ignorance.
I would just try and put all 5 supporters onto the top region.
I'm committing to
As much as you really do want to use it in the plateau to secure battlefield as often as possible, I think in order to secure the win here, I would put all 5 supporters into the top region. And trigger one of my charters of martial law as well.
I'm gonna do some weird
Yeah.
stuff.
Everyone in the chat is popping off about whether Pablo will remember to trigger martial law. So let's find out. Let's find out together, folks.
Yeah, let's just do it.
I mean, think about this one. I think he's hovering over martial law.
How you can see a card without flipping it?
Yes, it's. Oh, sorry.
Chat believes in Pablo. I believe in Pablo too.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
There we go. Oh,
I'm going to use a few things here.
yeah, here we go.
I think he sees it. Yeah,
I'm going to use martial law, and I have 2 uses of this.
he sees it.
I'm just going to put it here just so everybody can see it. It basically means that you can't put other cards in
I think this would be the play I would go for as well here.
there.
Makes a lot of sense.
And that's one of those uses.
Clearly, Clans is trying to contest, so he's just opting to place it there to prevent himself from getting really messed with.
Yep.
And now, School of the Stones as well. Okay, so choosing to go School of the Stones
Whoa.
onto the bottom region.
I'm going to activate School of the Stones. So,
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay, so he really wants to limit the amount that Nev can win this round.
I'll just keep it
I
like
think that makes a lot of sense. As we mentioned, I think the players really do need to be policing clans here, because even though nobility and clans are on very similar influence,
next round.
I think clans have set up a really good position.
I can't.
Moving
Yeah,
from
they've got
this
better
round
kingdom
onwards.
cards and they've got better unlocks, you know?
Yeah, totally.
let's see what Nev does in turn.
I think that's too many spring actions that Nev
Yeah.
can do, so I think they're pretty much that's it. That's pretty much it for the spring actions.
Yeah.
Could play some supporters down to try and contest. I am curious about what is being going to be revealed on the bottom region. As Pablo has committed 10 strength at least to that region, and we do have to remember that Nevakanezah does have access to their ruse and their agent as well. So Pablo needs to be really careful about this. And since Pablo doesn't have access to Regal Guard, which is their Kingdom Favor, they can't give their heir invulnerable. So I would say a pretty dangerous scenario if I, for Pablo actually. I think what would be devastating right now is if Nevakanezah actually chose to put their ruse on the Highlands.
There.
Yeah, that would suck.
Because of the fact that the Herald... Yeah. I imagine that might be the case because they've chosen to put their Herald there.
Knock out this for me. So if I manage to get in there,
All right, big supporter play.
just remember this is 10 here, so it's big.
Whoa.
Okay, so
Really?
choosing to put all supporters... Oh, I think if he's even thinking about putting it in the Highlands,
Yeah, I do like
I think it's unlikely that the ruse is there. Because, yeah, he would know that he can't ambush in
Yep.
card with martial law, so he probably wouldn't be placing his supporters there at all. But
Try to not forget any
so I imagine the ruse might be on the middle region or the lowlands at this point.
one influence.
All
Can't
right.
imagine that clients would have played this round without playing his ruse.
And
Yeah.
then
Completely agree. All right, so we see remote bothies. Nice little passive income for gathering.
on the ground, some boots on the ground. So because my trick is so convoluted that I'm not sure I understand it myself.
Oh, I guess maybe with this and the, yeah. Just remember, if you want to use that tactic, you need 2 in the place. That
Yeah.
would be the
Maybe I just want to win.
All right.
yes,
Maybe.
sure.
Setting up for a potential School of the Stars there in that middle region.
There to do that, or some push you over the edge. So
Yeah. And you know what? I also put 2 there.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, so this is a play that I would typically do something towards on round 4 and round 5. Mainly when I have a lot of cards in my Lost Powers gathering.
Yeah.
And essentially what this does is by putting 2 supporters into 2 different regions, you are threatening School of the Stars activation on either of those regions,
It's now or never. So I'm going to do that.
nice.
which can be very powerful.
Yeah. So
And now Gary seems to have decided to use Moonlit Forages.
Yes.
What are the cards that are currently available there? So
something like 7, or you would have to.
So
we
Moonlit
see Siren's
Foragers, just to remind folks, allows them to dig through the Kingdom card discard pile and occupy one of those with a card from their hand. So they're looking through
If you're
and
confident in your victory, this one is disgusting.
yeah, Siren's Pool. Although it, oh yeah,
Because then you get to rob everyone.
Oh,
You
yeah.
essentially steal. So
I
if
think Siren's Pool is a potentially very dangerous play right now because I think as
right
gathering,
now,
Yeah.
you don't really always have to guarantee that you can win a clash for sure.
one.
I mean,
unless
if Nev is just baiting
was really-
Nixx into pulling this, and it's gonna go in and swoop the win himself, that could work out strongly in his favor.
Are pushing me to do it, meaning that you have like terrible
no,
cards
no.
here.
So Nixx is
Nixx
currently
is
saying that yeah, you're just
rightfully
baiting him into
suspicious
taking
of
Siren's Pool.
the honeyed tongue.
I will do it for the crowd. But
yeah.
All right,
Still
everyone
choosing
in
to
the
go
chat.
for it.
Nick says he's doing this for us.
so I technically I take the card back and then I
I
will.
think it's still a reasonable read
Which one? No, I will.
saying that
This one.
Pablo and Nevakanezah probably don't have very strong cards in the plateau. I think that's completely reasonable
Same card or another one.
because it does seem like they are heavily contesting both the lowlands, the multiple supporter commitment,
I
as
think
well as the highlands because of the
smaller one.
herald commitment.
Yep.
So if I were Nixx here, I would probably just,
And
as I'm placing turn order, decide to say, hey, I'm just gonna put resolve the plateau first, so that I don't get messed with here.
Yeah. Just limit
We
the
know
amount of
that
flanking that can
that's-
happen.
so
Yeah, and we know that Clans has access to flanking.
it is this. because
Mhm.
people want to know.
So he's chosen to not activate Siren's Pool, actually.
This.
Huh. Okay. I guess he's saving it for a future turn.
I think actually this would be a perfect one to pull it off. And I think the middle region would be excellent for this case, actually.
No, essentially we just do
we-
this,
Okay.
and then we
So
just
do I
focus on-
flip this, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, there's riders. Oh man, that's good for Nev.
Oh, it's the big one.
That's really good for Nev.
Oh.
It's interesting. So Nevakanezah is currently tied with Pablo in strength currently.
Do you want to move these? I think is that well now we've revealed this was maybe
Did they have to? Crap.
it's bring well, you can.
I took it to do it, but right now,
I think you probably wouldn't want to do it right now, maybe.
yeah.
he could-
If I was fair, I wanted to do it, so.
So currently, actually, Nevakanezah and Pablo are tied on strength here. So Nevakanezah is on 20 strength,
yeah.
4 from the supporters, 5 from the war machine, and 11 from riders.
Had
Pablo is also on 20 because of the air, plus
in,
10 strength from the supporters from School of the Stones.
because this.
Do you
So
think
curious to see what
Nevakanezah
Nevakanezah
activates his prophet and tries to force another clash? What do you think?
A good idea. Pick the first region.
I would imagine that Nevakanezah does have his agent in hand.
Might be stronger.
I'm curious to see. I'm not sure actually
Then
what I would do here.
reveal this one
There
first.
is the option of deciding to use sea lanes
Yeah.
onto
You know,
up on the waves and just flank everything out and go into the middle region.
but
I think it's totally reasonable
Okay,
because both cards have invulnerable anyway,
so
so won't be susceptible to like an agent from gathering. And we know that Pablo doesn't have access to his agent either.
Yep.
So at least that would give him a more guaranteed win, even though he does commit
you have
4 supporters and doesn't get anything out of it.
no. You
But I think flanking might be an option here.
have 20.
Yep.
How the hell do I have 20?
5, 16, and 4 here.
Oh, because math is hard.
Oh, did Nev count?
Because we are tied. Oh goodness. Well,
Pablo has first action anyway, so
Yeah.
Nevakanezah now can choose to flank if he chooses to do so.
All right, let's see what he decides to
I think if
do.
you flank, you just flank everything out here. Yeah.
Are you contesting it or?
yes. So I'm currently on 20 strength. So I'm the person to beat here at the moment.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay, so Nevakanezah choosing to force the tie here and
Daylight
see what cards they play.
Okay.
I will say that I think a tie Nevakanezah might be a bit more
Obviously, you'd be giving me the region
incentivized or a little stronger in a position to win the tie.
when you.
I think
I
so,
guess it
because
depends
he's
on
going to
what
have
you would've
more
placed.
cards in his hand.
I have to do it in the next.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right. Chooses not to profit of the waves, and we'll resolve a tie clash.
I don't know.
okay, so I'm going to move up there, obviously.
Yeah, flank from Nixx, unsurprising.
Hopefully, it's not flanking into an agent by clans.
Yeah.
In a tie at the moment here.
All right, folks. So when we have a tie ball game like this, we just resolve an entirely new clash. So imagine none of that stuff is there. We're just gonna do an entirely new an entirely new clash from square one. And that's a big advantage for Nevakanezah because these followers are not going to count towards this new clash.
Yeah. All right. Oh no.
So let's see if Nevakanezah has to read and place an agent.
Ooh,
Oh, so Nevakanezah still has the air.
All right.
Well played.
Yep, he was reading the agent.
And Nevakanezah should also remember to get his extra influence from Oaking Signet here.
Yep.
It feels like Shrine is a good old choice here.
It's
Yeah, I think I would completely agree with Pablo here, and I would just shrine
Yes.
um
And
both riders and Hall Upon the Waves onto the bottom region. Back into the deck, sorry.
I get 2 influence
Do have Unearthed Iron Gear, but I think in this case it makes a lot of sense.
for winning that region.
Does he get influence from riders too?
does get influence from Riders because Riders doesn't need you to win with Riders being active in the clash. It simply says that when you win a clash in a region where this card is active,
Nixx.
gain an influence. So in this case, Riders is still active in the region, even though Riders wasn't part of the clash itself.
Yep.
Yeah. Well played.
All right. Good callouts. Good callouts. That's nice for clans. I do think if Pablo is able to stuff the court, though, he's going to be able to keep up scoring-wise.
I will say that I think even though Pablo didn't win this clash, this outcome was probably better than you would expect. Because
He really made
in
Nev
the
commit a lot of like resources to winning
totally.
this clash.
100%. I think if, for example, Pablo didn't commit this hard, Nev still had the option to use C-lanes to flank his cards out,
Yep.
while still winning the bottom region.
But
That potentially let Nev win another region as well, which I think in this case
Completely
is
agree.
no longer an option because Nev had to keep everything there.
Yep.
So actually we're going to see one activation of C-lanes being sort of wasted on unused by the end of this game.
Yep.
Because Nevakanezah simply can't use C-lanes into the plateau now because he can't flank into the region with martial law. So actually only gets 2 uses out of it, potentially in round 4 and round 5. So a loss for clans, or a loss for nobility in terms of the actual clash, but potentially a win in the longer game.
So you just go on the bottom.
There's 2 more rounds to go.
Decides to shrine Riders. Okay. That works.
Yeah, I mean, probably he would journey and govern with the cards that he has in his hand.
Yep.
If he does have a ruse, he can just ambush in another card, which I think that's to read. So he will definitely draw into Riders again.
Yep.
Okay, so Plateau, good luck, everyone.
All right. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Okay. Yep. This
yeah.
is why such a good usage of martial law by Pablo.
Had you done that, they would
Yeah. And Pablo gets to still flank in because martial law doesn't
I was
apply to your own cards.
Yep.
kind of sure I could like swap cards with my power or something, but in a live situation it's not easy for me to
Yeah,
put all
yeah,
those-
yeah.
So definitely an interesting play that Nixx can do here
get snatch
is instead of using Scroll of the Stars to be a more aggressive
get a bunch
tactic to bring in strength,
discard
he
that.
could do in this case because he knows that middle region is now safe,
I'm
is to actually use Scroll of the Stars to bring in the trader
I will pass.
to this region to give him access back
So
to the trader, which allows him to rally through this round, as well as have access to a card to journey for too long.
that
So
hat.
that's definitely an option that I think he can take here, rather than using School of the Stars to be more aggressive in terms of winning clashes. Use it more for economy.
Yeah. To just get that trader back in, get some lore gen going, and hopefully kind of get back into the game that way.
Without putting
I
enough.
think it's not something that's very intuitive to a lot of players to decide to use it that way, because School of the Stars reads as if it's such a powerful tactic in clashes.
Enter here.
I think this is a totally valid play that players should be able to recognize sometimes. As if you've been playing for a while, that the economy can be very strong.
That is
Yep.
that gathering card because
Since Gathering doesn't really have that much fuel in the gloss pile,
it's a way of
it may not be that useful.
around this lockdown.
It is probably their most useful card in the Lost Pile right now. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, yeah, Nev uses Prophet of the
Notice so-
Waves to bravely run away.
Good play.
He could still have done it in the top region, so he just needs to move it over to Wilderness, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't seem like he's very confident in his ability to win top region.
Anywhere else, so there's nothing I have to. I think
Interesting. So this would sort of imply that Nevakanezah has their ruse on the top region.
points.
Yeah.
And if you want to discard this,
It would be a bit weird because he considered for a second to put his 4 supporters onto the Highlands versus the Lowlands. So
That's a 3, and that's probably it.
great, and you take the Kingdom's Fate.
so 3 law for Gathering.
Yep.
I
Well, it
mean,
looks
Herald
like they're
wants
gonna
to
take.
harvest
Oh
more,
yeah,
wants to
because they
catch
have
it,
the Herald Burst. Yep.
Good luck, everyone.
Really nice, and now let's him actually rally the flank card back into his hand.
1.
Yep.
Yeah, and we do see the ruses
Every single one of us.
clans there.
Yeah, that
and
is.
we do see an agent from Gathering.
Wow. Okay.
And I think Pablo might not have a follower here.
Nobody can.
He might have, I'm not very sure, because
Yeah.
Pablo did place 4 follower
Mm-hmm.
into the bottom region. And if you look at the lost pile,
Not a problem. This is
Wow. Are we gonna see a
Pablo
win from
has
Gathering?
both the 1
here?
and 2.
okay. So at the moment,
We might actually. I think Pablo would probably just ambush the 3 follower if he has it.
Yeah.
With this card.
Okay, so he does have the follower.
All right. Yeah.
Would imply.
I don't think anybody else can. Yeah, you can do that.
And actually, Martial Law really baiting Pablo out here because I think if Gathering sees the read and decides to, for example, use School of the Stars or Out Beyond the Light,
Plus,
they can actually win this clash.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that Martial Law is in play, both School of the Stars and Out Beyond the Lights are out of contention.
the swap maybe.
Yep.
So you can see now he wants to do it, but actually you can't do it because Martial Law simply prevents all of these interactions from Gathering.
Less.
If you do
Although-
move on-
Yep. Move to the current region. Swap the position. So martial law does block Out Beyond the Lights.
unless I'm dropping.
It blocks essentially everything.
Wow.
And
It's a
chat
strong
says
tactic.
that martial law is in play, meaning I cannot add anything anyway, right?
Of course. Yes. Apologies, I was getting carried away there. So the only
Yeah.
way you could add something is if you had this card. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
quite right.
Okay. So that's
And actually see if
already.
he could have chosen to do Siren's Pool onto the middle region here,
Yeah.
and also opted to simply resolve it first,
Useful for you.
actually, and that would have actually been a really strong power play.
Yeah.
So I take
And so Pablo,
I know. We would have seen
luckily still has
Gathering take
access
the
to
lead,
none of his
actually.
followers. Yeah.
so I get
Wow. All right.
So Castle here, probably running with the cavalry into Council of Relics, I would imagine.
Yeah. Let's see what he does.
I think I would also still use. It's really weird because I might not use Witch Trial this round, knowing that I want to cash in Monument Builders first,
Yeah. First cash in Monument Builders for sure.
and then using Witch Trial later to pull the cards back to gain the lore as well.
Yep. And then maybe even Queen.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
that's a good
I can
point.
totally
His
see that.
cavalry was eliminated by Agent.
Oh yeah, it's important. I think that probably someone should to tell her that cavalry was in fact eliminated by the agent.
attrition. I don't think there's much I can do here.
I'll go in and tell him.
Oh, misplay. I see what you're highlighting.
Hi, friends. That cavalry should be dead. Agent killed it.
Agent killed the cavalry.
Oh, yes. I'm so happy I did it.
Oh, Agent killed the cavalry. That isn't even what I was. But I could. Oh no, I had to do that to knock them out. Yeah. Okay. Oh goodness. Yeah. Right. They are dead. Okay.
Thank you, Jeffels.
Thank you, chat, I assume.
Continue, Joe.
Yeah, nice
I
shot,
like how
nice shot on my
everyone,
start.
nobody assumes that it's me making these smart observations. They're like, thank you, chat. Thank you, Winter Knight. I mean, they're right, but still, it hurts a little bit.
And I started thinking about all the things I could do with this.
Interesting. So now instead, Pablo's chosen to.
Okay,
Yeah,
Running
High
with
Court.
High
Duh.
Court.
Makes a ton of sense.
I will place
I probably would not place it into that region because,
engineers.
or into that council because I know that High Court is going to move anyway. So I know that Pablo's trying to make use of monument builders, but I probably would govern in.
on engineers.
Or that I guess that puts him in a really awkward position because if you govern into either Council of Secrets or Council of Oaths, you kick out your own cards as well.
Exactly.
That's really awkward, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's slightly
Yeah,
suboptimal,
the
but I think
cavalry-
it's his best play given his options.
I think I might not use Castle at all, actually. I might have just chosen to keep High Court in my hand and use it as a normal govern action.
Really? You would have
Governing
taken Wilder?
into either Secrets. No, but I do want the Herald reward, though.
So you just forego, like take
Yeah.
the Herald reward and just forego the govern?
Maybe. I think so, because I'm already set up for a nice Witch Trial play, so I don't really think the lore is that important.
Yeah. Well, he chooses to put it in secrets instead.
He chooses to not use Castle at all, actually, because in this case he's putting High Court in as a normal govern action, just declining the action.
Yeah, that's
Now
right. We're
he-
in
now
autumn.
he-
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he has the choice to fully activate Council of Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would. Ooh. Interesting choices here. I would either go for Westfield, or I would go for Necropolis. That's currently my mind on Pablo right now.
I will
So
journey with this, and I will.
okay, so he's choosing to take Wilderness. to take 1 law, which I think is also acceptable.
I will cast my.
Skarn, could you explain your question?
Actually, hang on. I'm going to bring 2 of these supporters back to my player board using that thing. I've got a bit more choice there. And oops, and I will move this card to my hand. And then I'll pass.
All right.
So now Pablo has decided to not shift
The
High Court over to Council of Relics, which means he still does not get to cash out on Monument Builders, which further delays the Witch Trial play.
Yeah. He's running
Some
out of time.
sequencing. He is running out of time. He's also running dangerously close to getting all his cards knocked out if somebody does decide to win Castle.
Yeah.
He does still have his War Machine there and can activate Martial Law there again this round. So
And he's
he
got
does
engineers,
have
so
bit
it'll
of
stick
op-
around.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting choices here. So actually, the agent eliminating the cavalry does make things really awkward because Pablo really wanted to govern with that cavalry into Council of Relics to turn on Monument Builders for next round, actually.
Totally agree.
So and that worked out quite well for Gathering, actually. And they do get their agent into the lost pile.
Yep.
So
And that's
yeah.
very scary.
And I think what Gathering could do here is actually put an additional vote and bring up the word onto Council of Oaths, which gives them the most votes used with 3. And that actually allows them to pull back all 4 supporters that they placed this round onto the regions.
Yeah. I think
That's something I probably would go for here.
yeah, we've got folks commenting that this is a closer game than they would expect it after a really strong round from Nev. And I think that's just because we saw I think we saw Pablo police Nev pretty effectively there and kind of pull him back where he could have really taken off this round.
And then
Alright, so we're getting a Council of Relics set up with a Govern.
So Nev recognizing that really needs the influence to win and is choosing to govern with the agent instead of playing it out normally.
Yep.
Which is also an interesting choice because now we know Pablo has actually given up a lot of his followers. Three of them are in the lost pile currently. So Pablo is definitely the most vulnerable to having to an agent. I think it makes sense as well in this case because yeah, as clans right now, I know that with Riders currently back in my deck, I do have a very strong chance at winning clashes. So just being able to cash out Council of Relics is just really powerful.
Yep.
I will say that I would be trying to govern with
we activate.
our Nevakanezah here. Oh, sorry, Journey with as Nevakanezah here because
Oh, we're
he had
seeing a
2
River Runner
cards in his
split.
deck.
Ooh.
Okay, I think he might be giving up Count King Signet here.
Yeah.
Oh, taking Monument Builders.
Oh, he's giving up Best Boy.
Island of Dying. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that's pretty good actually.
Oh, is he set up to score Monument Builders? He's close.
I don't think he's set up to. He's close to it. Yeah, he's close to it.
I mean, taking Monument
He's already
Builders
done
away
this
from
round.
Pablo is smart.
Totally.
Scammed you good.
Okay, that's a... Wow, okay.
So I'm putting one more marker here.
Seems like Gathering is putting another marker into Council of Wolves.
I can gather all of my supporters if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly the play that I was thinking of as well.
Yep.
Here, more than everyone else, which technically gives you an extra vote, which is 4. Perfect. Exactly right. We need.
Just grabbing all the supporters back and again threatening School of the Stars potentially onto 2 different regions.
He
Is-
says with his
Although I would be a bit careful with this because I think Pablo recognizes that Bringer might be getting a little bit out of hand and might decide to witch trial next round.
Yeah. I think he should. I really think he should.
When I try, I mess up. I'm going to take this guy
Yep.
back, of course.
Alright.
Those-
Takes air back.
I can take one back with the Kingdom Favor,
It
and
has
the other one.
It has to be
Has to
in
be-
the region here. Yeah.
Oh, so it would be this one, yeah.
It has to be that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one would go to the discard pile during the winter, right? Okay. So there's no reason not to do it. So I will take this one back. And
Notice that Gathering still has access to Siren's Pool,
most
which could be really dangerous for every other player because
I-
now Clans has also lost access to
bit late.
on the Kingdom's favor.
I want to make
Dude,
And
I think
because
Gathering might win
is
this
still
game.
going last in turn order at the end of this,
so
He's got all
and
of
will be
his
deciding the
ambush
clash order, they can
shenanigans.
simply
He's got
decide
Siren's
to
Pool.
avoid the Highlands as the region of choice
doing this
and resolve
anything back
whichever region they're in first, actually.
fine.
So potentially Gathering is really well set up to steal from two other players here.
Be empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you,
Ooh, and also going for the ritual sacrifice here,
Yeah.
placing 3 cards, both cards from the discard pile and the War Machine as well into the lost pile, gaining 3 lore here.
exactly.
All right,
And
let's see what he
I think
picks
that sets
up.
him up to buy Ritual of the Tooth.
Probably Tooth, yep.
This. Yeah, why not? This one to journey
Mm-hmm.
to grab.
Okay, might be a slightly different play, so he might be going for Ritual of the Eye instead here.
Oh, to screw with riders.
I play with the biggest one. So the
All right.
Ooh, okay, and choosing to take Ritual of the Eye, which I think is really powerful here as well, because
The whole table.
both agents, which are what are used to threaten Ritual of the Eye,
Yep.
are from the opponents, are both in the councils.
The player with the low
And we know that Pablo and Nevakanezah have both
invert
actually
clashes.
put all 3 of their low strength supporters into the lost pile by journeying with them.
Yep.
Can be played around.
So definitely is really
I
strong
think
here,
that was a really
actually,
smart
and
pickup.
really set up to use Ritual of the Eye really well.
I think Guy's going to do a lot of work.
It's yeah, very good.
Oh, Jaffos, I think you might still be muted if you can hear me.
Oh, shoot.
just double
You,
clicking,
if you're speaking.
but I think
Can you hear me?
I did this.
Yes.
I just didn't govern, and I
Hear you. I see you speaking on stream and I can see your mouth moving, but I don't actually hear you.
no.
Okay, hold on. Let me fix this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah. There we
Okay,
go.
perfect. Sorry. Discord got mad that I was breaking it, so it called me out.
So actually, Gathering is really well set up.
So we have like
Really nice.
Yeah, this is scary. I think
I said
Gathering's
I would
gonna
want
win
me
this
for the
game.
top
I
two.
really do, which is kind of epic. We haven't seen a Gathering win yet.
It's true.
it says money.
Siren's Pool is gonna be really scary this round, actually.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just so we keep a kind of healthy supply of ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So, oops.
Perfect. Nailed it.
I will say the one danger of Ritual of the Eye
It's stacked for you.
is knowing that other players still have access to their rules, I believe.
Mm,
And if other players have a read on where
Draw. I'm gonna.
it might be,
Hand size.
that might be,
Nice.
you could just simply put the rules there and put a supporter there,
Right.
and yeah, have 1 strength compared to the 3 strength of the Eye. So let's see what ends up happening here. I think Gathering needs to be a bit tricky if they intend to try and win the clash with Ritual of the Eye and steal from everyone's arrows.
yep.
It's a danger. Occasionally,
I'm curious to see if Nev's gonna be able to pop off Monument Builders.
you jump down maybe 2 spots of attrition, but obviously you have a minimum hand size, so it will always try and reach.
So let's have a quick look at the King card row again. We see White Watchtowers, potentially very nice for this round, I would say. Maybe something Nevakanezah might be thinking about picking up, just primarily because it prevents
Favorite card.
the
Little.
builders from being stolen by someone else, and I think Pablo is in a very good position to try and do that.
These are interesting in
Do you think we're gonna see a Royal Seal this round?
Forge Royal Pardons, very strong and
We might. I think I'm not really that excited by any of these cards from Royal Seal. So I'm not that incentivized to use it now, and you could hope for something better next round.
Yeah,
For
we
example,
might
we
see
actually
Ruined
haven't seen some
Citadel
of the
pop
really-
up. We might see Old Enchantress
Yeah.
pop up. Good points. We haven't seen either of
Yes.
those cards.
Exactly, right? We haven't seen some really powerful cards. I mean, like Beacon, like you said.
Sword That Slept, too.
Yeah, Ruined Citadel, Sword That Slept, exactly, right? A lot of these cards haven't popped out yet, and I think as Pablo, I probably would hold out one more round just to see what happens. Because you're not really that interested in protecting Engine's Workshop. I don't think anyone's really going to steal it from you. And I don't think anything on the roll is really speaking to me that heavily.
We've got folks in the chat calling out Propaganda Advisor. I mean, I do agree that that could be really strong.
I think Propaganda Advisor definitely is really strong for Nev into final round. The thing is, Nevakanezah here, I probably would go for White Watchtowers. It's probably going to be one influence.
What would you
Well, I
replace,
guess
though? Would you ditch Signet and just, like,
True.
eat the
It's-
lower
it's really
hand
awkward.
size? Like, Signet is just such a liability for him at this point, unfortunately.
He's still on 6 hand size, so it's not too bad.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like he's currently on 5 and he will go on to 4, so it's not too bad.
That's a good
I
point.
think the awkward part of the Watchtowers is that you probably won't get the influence, because if Pablo doesn't blow Royalty this round, he blows it next round, and then you're definitely not the first to resolve a bit anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter too much. But it does protect monument builders, which could be really important. But I think if Nevakanezah doesn't get to use monument builders this round, he doesn't get to use it next round either, because likely Pablo is going to pop Witch Trial here.
All right.
For a very high bid from Gathering.
Oh well, so before any of that happens,
Oh.
I'm just going to use this.
We're going to see
So
Royal
Pablo
Seal
does
come out.
choose to use Royalty.
So when
Okay,
resolving bids,
I just want
after bidding
to go
first,
home.
I'm not really sure what Pablo wants to pick here. I think Propaganda Advisor is reasonable,
0.
and I think
So
White Watchtowers is also reasonable.
basically means I just get to go first with my bid.
Oh yeah, okay, so I should not withdraw it.
I think if he really wants to prevent Gathering from doing the play that he intends to, he would probably take Propaganda Advisor.
Yep.
Just to ensure that he gets the choice of when to pick Clash Markers. Because I think if Gathering was one to pick Clash Markers, Siren's Pool gets much easier to pull off.
Yep.
And I'm going to steal.
Oh, he's stealing.
Ooh, steals Opening Signet.
Okay.
Dropping Nevakanezah down to 5 hand size.
This goes to your hand.
It goes to the top of the deck now, yeah.
Size would go down by 1.
Do I have to discard immediately?
Yeah, you do. And if you, whenever you have to discard, it always goes to the top of your deck.
Okay.
So yeah, forcing Nevakanezah down to a 5 hand size. Nev gets to discard to the top of his deck. All right.
And so now it's Nevakanezah. I think I would just pick Propaganda Advisor here.
Propaganda Advisor is a no-brainer. Completely agree.
I think there's argument for White Watchtowers now, because you know that Royalty has been blown, so it would at least protect you from monument builders being.
Yeah, I'm.
No, yeah, I guess it's probably Propaganda makes the most sense, because like I said, if you don't use monument builders this round,
Any card you want, but
oh
obviously
no, I guess you couldn't use it next round either. Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe White Watchtowers makes sense here.
snap up to 5.
No, but Pablo hasn't used Witch Trials yet, so I think there's really no way you're gonna get to resolve the minigame on
It
that.
actually has utility here.
Or
Ooh, let me think.
uh,
Yeah,
Royal
Very
Pardons.
subtly but not subtly pointing out Propaganda Advisor.
better overall, but I only have 2 turns to use them.
it's
Oh man, prop.
It depends how much you're going to use flank. I would say is the because you would get to dictate the order. Oh, you wouldn't get to use it this round. You wouldn't get to use it this round.
Exactly.
They're calling that out. Yeah.
Yeah, which does give Gathering a chance to use Siren's Pool play. If he does want to.
Yeah. I still would take Propaganda Advisor. Oh no, I don't know. Watchtowers. I mean, the influence. This is such a tight game. Yep. There we go. Watchtowers.
I will say that I think between Ritual of the Eye and Ritual of the Tooth, even though Ritual of the Eye is actually really well positioned, given the fact that both Nevakanezah and Pablo have already journeyed their 1, 2, and 3 followers.
Favorite card in the Kingdom
I
deck.
think Ritual of the Tooth,
So
if you know that
the one
nobody can flank into your region,
is
it's probably more of a guaranteed win than Ritual of the Eye, because
because the plus
all the other players can simply
get stolen.
the ruse, which we know they have access to,
That
and a follower there, and just retreat the ruse and
bit kind of hard.
just try and win that region with the follower,
Importantly, it's not
because that is still going to be less strength than the Eye.
Yeah. Winter Knight
Whereas I
actually
think
getting
Ritual of the
a call out from the chat that I'm actually not sure of. So when they were resolving the attrition due to Old King's Signet getting stolen, should that card that was occupying been the one that gets discarded? Because as they say in chat, the hand size went down, then he couldn't put the occupying card into hand, so that card should have gone to the top of Nev's deck. Is that correct?
I need to check the rules on that, but I think that does sound correct.
Okay. I will
I would say it
let them know.
happens all simultaneously. So that's what I think is the case.
Alright. Okay, Andrew confirming that James is correct. I will let them know.
Will...
Hi, friends. I have a quick correction for you guys.
Was it me?
It was you. How'd you know?
Always me.
The card that you had to discard when resolving Old King's Signet loss was the card that was occupying it, because you lost the Kingdom card, then the occupying Kingdom card goes back to your hand, but your hand size has decreased, so it just bounces to your draw deck. Did that make sense?
Yes.
I guess I wasn't aware it tracked the order in which you got your hands or your stuff. Or
So I guess as soon as you lost that Kingdom card, your hand size decreased, right? And then the Kingdom card goes back to your hand with your new hand size. There's no room, and so it goes into a discard onto your draw deck.
Never. That was my fault. I gave you incorrect information there.
man, if only we had someone who understood the rules in this game. Wouldn't that be so good?
Subtle shade. Nevakanezah is throwing at Pablo's.
Oh man. I mean, there are some little intricate timing things with this game for sure.
That's what
Yeah, totally.
yeah. Yeah, let's leave it to the police.
So Nevakanezah here has chosen to pick up
I think
Watchtowers, which I think will end up being at least 2 influence for him.
Yep.
Well, in the case of Watchtowers with 1, and in Modern Builders being able to be kept by him is another influence.
Oh, bad.
So let's have a look at what's going to happen for Ashes.
Well, how would it be 2 influence? Because he only gets to use it once, right?
I just meant from both his Kingdom cards combined. So he guarantees that Modern Builder is
for
kept by
Monument.
him because people can't steal from him, and then
Yeah.
he gets probably 1 influence on White Watchtowers next round since Pablo's already used Royal Seal.
Yep.
What is it? And then place from.
So I think Nixx needs to be very careful about how he chooses to approach this round. Because Siren's Pool can really turn games on its head. Especially given the fact that the influence totals are so close.
I mean, everyone's
Accidentally
just
giving the
won a
opponent a win.
region for like at least
Yeah.
3 of these rounds. Everyone's just kind of won their own region. So whoever can crack this open and start stealing from other players is gonna run away with this game.
what did we pay? Oh, the actual the one named bank. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But the queen is good as well.
Look, while he's
So-
trying to organize.
I will say that this game has been one of the more milder games in terms of what Kingdom cards have been available.
Yeah.
I think there have been some powerful picks.
No
I've
matter,
seen Unearthed Iron Gear as an example, but nothing as wild as some other games that we've seen where the first round you get Curious Ring, Sword That Slept, Old King's Spear, that sort of stuff, which really goes ham on what the clashes and how they can be affected. But in this game, I'd say a lot of the cards that have been seen are a lot more economy based and more about building up slow incremental advantages. Which is also a really nice thing to see it from how the Kingdom cards in this game really change the general flow and the feel of the game and how players are playing. Right?
Yeah, I
think
completely
clashes have been
agree.
a lot
I mean,
more mild and
when it comes to this
Yeah.
game, I really do think the Kingdom cards are kind of the beating heart of the game itself, you know? Because, you know, the
Yeah,
tactics, the asymmetry, like, that doesn't change game to game, but what Kingdom cards show up, just, it completely changes the way that you play. And I think these tight scores that we're seeing are because we're seeing less of the swingy cards come out early, which
Really, yeah.
means we could really be in for a crazy final round.
Benefit of throwing all into consideration.
I will say that
plans,
the
even
idea of asymmetry being the same is totally right, but we still haven't considered new factions that potentially might be coming out in an expansion.
Time's running out.
I imagine that the team would definitely want to do that. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to
lot
see
of
what they
space
do
for
and how they
expansion.
choose to expand on that design space.
Oh wait, I have other things to do. Not right now. I don't want to forget.
interesting. So Nixx has chosen to contest the castle,
And
and I don't know if I like this,
So-
and I think it's really readable. Nixx, or at least the table should know that Nixx has control of the eye. Given that both other players have access to their ruses, I would be very. I think this telegraphs a bit too much. Like if I were Nixx, I would just. I guess it's really weird because you can also shift your own herald. So what I might choose to do is actually put my Ritual of the Eye on the Lowlands, for example, and then move everybody to the Lowlands and have my Ritual of the Eye there, because I think that is the least likely space where the other players are going to place their ruses. I think it depends
So
whether the other players recognize this or not.
I think.
At least that's what I would go for. So at least in my mind, as other players, I would probably place my ruses where I have my heralds. So I think this is a very tense last round, or second last round, I would say. And I'll probably just decide to put my Ritual of the Eye on the bottom region here.
Yes, perfect.
Yep.
That's better than my suggestion.
And also given the fact that
Um,
Bering still has access to Out Beyond the Lights,
this is
we
unbelievable.
can actually have Ritual of the Eye into 2 different clashes this round.
There you go.
So let's see how it plays out. Because yeah, like I said, the main counter to Ritual of the Eye
My free money for
is the
It's
agents,
Ruse,
and
right?
both Pablo. Well, it's Ruse and or agent.
Yeah.
And Pablo and Nixx don't have access to the agents, so at least you know that it won't get eliminated.
I have people in the chat telling me to move people's cards and lock them in place.
So interesting here. So actually, I think Nevakanezah has gotten a very smart way to play around Ritual of the Eye, just placing one supporter into both the top and
Oh,
region.
I see. Yeah.
And because of C lanes, you can actually flank out of that region and leave the supporter there to win if Ritual of the Eye wasn't either of them.
That wasn't.
That's a really smart way to get around it.
The winter automatic thing take them away.
Yeah.
Oh, should those supporters be out there? Because School of the Stones was a round 3
They
play,
should,
right?
yeah.
Was it round 3 or round 2?
They should. It was round 3, yeah.
Okay.
I believe you're correct. They should be in the bottom row.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, they should be in the bottom. Yeah.
It's really tricky, actually.
They
Well,
are.
it's really weird because now it sort of implies that the middle region probably doesn't have Nevakanezah's rules.
Positions of the cards.
Ooh, I'm really curious to see where
Yeah. But, because
Do
Ritual of the
you
Eye
think we're going to
is.
see the second charge of Marshall popped this round?
I think so, because I think Pablo feels threatened by the herald placement that's there.
I really. Let's see, how many votes do I
I
have?
think he's thinking about it. He's really thinking about this one.
You are bullying.
You are very disturbing.
I just can't.
Gotta keep myself in
Please, we cannot let this man name my child.
Just based on
Hey,
principle,
guys.
I hope Nevakanezah
I
loses
have
this game.
just a quick thing. I've actually decided to eliminate Nevakanezah from the event.
Thank you.
Please leave. Go away.
Player removed.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. What were you saying?
I was gonna say that I think we should just eliminate Nevakanezah. And I think he just deserves to lose based on principle on what he's doing here.
I'm so mad.
Oh, I'm really curious to see how Gathering plays this.
You're making it look too easy on the battlefield.
No.
Okay. There we go. That's me. I pass.
Whoa, okay.
All right.
And 3 revealed here.
Not really sure what I would do here.
Take my 3 points also, thanks to this.
Yeah,
Remote
both
Morpheus
these
actually has
honestly
not
has been
gotten-
doing work.
Nevakanezah has not gotten a single law out of remote Morpheus, but has gotten sort of influence for 3
You mean
rounds straight.
Nixx?
So let's
Oh yeah, Nixx, sorry, yeah, Nixx. Nixx has not gotten a single law out of remote Morpheus, which is usually what it's used for.
beat everyone.
I mean, 1 point per round is still great.
Yeah, Wakoma is really good.
Maybe I have to win this to keep.
And I think Pablo has decided not to use martial law this round because he still has Engineer's Workshop to keep the war machine around. So it seems like Nixx is going very hard on this round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to. Yeah, I cannot win on every row.
I think he needs to remember that Witch Trial also exists, so he probably isn't going to get his supporters back this round.
Yeah.
Do you have some?
Witch Trial's supposed to do a lot of damage.
My only request is don't resolve plateau first, but other than that, I
We have a little bit of negotiation going around the order here.
Sorry. Plus you are.
Is Nixx going to use Siren's Pool?
I'm going to use.
Mhm.
You tricked me with the Siren Pool where you were sure to win with your Legion of Doom. So I'm going to use it.
Legion of Doom.
Everybody to the party
Ooh, I'm very curious about this play. Let's see.
with that.
I hope he chooses to resolve that first.
I'm done.
Okay.
He should choose to resolve that first here.
I've changed my mind like about 10 times. So I'm going to follow.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
That's the first step done.
I would.
I'm very curious as to see what other players have played there.
Wow. This, wow.
Finish here. I hope I
see.
all of your plans.
I think you might have gotten this because there's no supporter in the middle region.
Yeah.
Pablo and Nevakanezah don't have access to the play to ruse away from the supporters.
with their proud military.
Let's see. I think the eye might be there. It is.
Wow.
The eye is in fact in that region.
I honestly think you are. It's,
Why?
Right. So Pablo thinks that Herring is screwed because he has supporters there, but what he can do is use School of the Stars to pull in the trader for 0 strength
Yep.
and remove the supporters that are there, to make him
Yeah.
down to 3 strength.
Discard pack.
Yeah.
Let's see if Garing catches this.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what they're about to do.
I was so
I think Garing,
okay. So hopefully you can.
I don't know if he realizes it.
Oh, I think I see what you're gonna do. I'm gonna do.
Does he realize it? I hope he does.
I love you.
Well, actually, technically, it's never first.
Oh.
Well, Nevakanezah definitely flanks out of this region.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, this effect is in
Yeah.
the region.
And he's got
I'll blow this
I
up on
really
screen
hope
so people
Garing
can
sees
see
it.
what this card does. But
I really hope Garing sees this.
oh, right, the 0 exists.
Okay, so
my
Pablo literally
child.
just pointed it out. So I guess, yeah, now he definitely knows it.
Clever move.
to design this card anyway.
I wonder.
And I can't move my herald out.
Yeah, so
Um,
so I was pretty secure up here in that I maybe had a way to retreat. So even if we got into this whole stealing shenanigans, he would not be able to steal, but that got changed.
Yeah, I think the fact that.
got my head sideways.
Oh, yeah. I think Garing has this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of influence going to be shifting.
Yep.
we did.
Be 2 from the battlefield, 1 from the Herald reward, so 3, and stealing 1 each, so moving up 5 influence.
Bonus point for this. So
I know.
wherever you win with this, so just make sure that you land it. I can't do anything. So currently,
Actually, Gathering does also get back the trader here.
but you pass your turn. That should go
Or
to.
let me just decide whether or not that's the right region.
Well, if you go to that one, you can always then flank again.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's probably fine.
Amazing use of Witch of the Eye, I have to say.
Intelligent to
Really nice play.
can just
I'm happy
And
we saw
really
it
well
come
set
out
up to do it.
because we haven't seen anyone purchase it
And-
yet this tournament.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see it come out as well. And I think Nixx has really recognized
winning.
one of the most optimal ways that it can happen, which is when every other player decides to journey with all their low cost or low strength followers.
Yeah, and just buy their big, chunky, beefy cards.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause
And now we can
Ritual of
see
the
that
Eye
the
is like
four
pretty much
previous-
inbuilt to counter riders.
I've gone
you know?
through like the slow
Yeah.
ponder.
Well, able to counter anyone who's just trying to win via brute force as well.
Yeah.
So currently I'm winning on 4 because of this rule, but it's now your turn, Nixx. So I pass.
Okay, so I can look like a genius for 1 second. So yeah, I will do it, of course. So
I mean, it
do
was
this.
a brilliant play. I'm just mad it happened to me.
It's actually a really inspired plan. It's really,
Thank
really
you,
good.
guys.
Yeah.
Yep, so we're gonna see School
We're
of the
pointing it out, and I
Stars.
think it's really amazing.
Yeah, that's it. He would not
I
make
think this is one of the best uses of and best ways to use Ritual of the Eye I've ever seen.
because I also intend to use this
Um,
card to get some of my
yeah.
because if not,
Really
Yeah.
nice.
attrition.
And let's not forget that
Super good.
Good job,
Gathering
Nix.
still
This
has
is a great play.
access to. Yeah, and that's amazing play actually.
Some points.
Let's not forget that Gathering still has access to Kingdom's Favor.
So that would be true.
They can pull back Ritual of the Eye this round
So yeah, so
because it is where the Herald is.
Yep.
2, 3, and then you'll steal a point from both of us. So,
Okay, so I'll do it right now.
it will be 4 in total, and I will give
That
you.
was beautiful, Nix.
I took it. I took it.
Perfect.
Plus, you said
Exactly,
plus
James.
3.
100%.
No, plus 4. No, plus 3.
So 1,
Yes.
2 for the location itself.
3.
2.
It should be 5 total, right?
One from each player. Yeah.
It is 5 total, yeah.
He gets 2 points.
Be on 13.
So 3
So-
because his herald is there. Then
So
1
5
point
in
from each
total.
is 5 in total.
5 in total. Yep.
Yeah, put him to
Uh,
13, which is disgusting.
That's amazing.
Totally horrible.
Really good play.
Wow. Go Gathering.
One of the highlight plays from this tournament, I think.
Yeah.
What tier did you-
No, I'm gonna definitely make a short on this or something, because this is
I feel like it's quite high.
chef's
I
kiss.
think it's,
Chef's kiss play right there.
Okay, very well played. That was great. That's the ultimate efficiency.
Okay.
Win by the skin of your teeth, i.e. 3 to 4, but then also get this in is just lovely.
Siren's Pool is discarded as well.
Ah, yes. So this gets discarded when it's moved. So technically,
Oh,
that should
okay.
be-
Okay. It would be too easy.
Well, that was a great use of Moonlit Foragers to get that, save it, and use it very
Well, yeah.
strategically.
And a 5-point swing is
Not one of the stronger cards of Moonlit Foragers that we've seen, like for example, School of the Sword That Slept or Ruined Citadel.
Yeah.
Definitely still a pretty good use of it.
good luck.
I mean, Siren's Pool situationally can be very strong. I think we have just seen that.
So
Uh,
I had my retreat here, so I could just get out of trouble, because I'm not really playing like a fighting game here. I'm just trying to score nicely here, but that's all gone a bit messed up now.
Pablo retreats here.
So currently I'm
Oh, yeah.
on 5.
Redeploy War Machine in a better spot for next round.
Yes.
Seems like Nevakanezah has chosen to put his ruse on the bottom region, if this is the case.
So the question is, do you stick?
So,
yeah.
here's something quite funny as well.
That was the right call.
Nevakanezah chooses to keep riders in the Highlands. Gathering can use Beyond the Lights to swap Ritual of the Eye into the Highlands.
Oh my god, you're so
And
right.
Pablo has 0 strength.
Is it my turn?
He actually wins the clash again.
Oh, it's on me.
Pablo so Nevakanezah has to act first. If he stays there because to try and beat Gathering's 13 strength, Pablo retreats everything. Nevakanezah just swaps Ritual of the Eye in without Beyond the Lights.
You mean Nix?
Nixx, sorry, I keep mixing up these names.
Oh,
Yeah, Nix also
I
has
think
ambushes
Pablo
from
can-
Door
I
in the
would
Night.
leave like one supporter there. Yeah,
That's
okay,
a-
so Pablo
that's-
recognizes the play.
I will let you know. And
Oh.
insight into mass. I could tie with you. Could I tie with you? Yes.
Is retreating.
But you would lose the subsequent one.
Well, I've only got one card in my hand, so yeah.
Alright, he is retreating.
So I'm gonna pull
So he retreats everything.
avoid
Nevakanezah has chosen to stay.
attrition next round. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's me.
Let's see if let's say if Nixx decides to do it.
Yeah, I'm at 13 and you are at
16.
16.
Yep.
16.
Ah,
Only 3.
Nixx still has access to Door in the Night, which I completely forgot about. So
Yeah.
actually, he does win his clash just by
Yeah,
ambushing
Door in
it.
the Night. You can just win it outright
Completely
with Door in the
forgot
Night.
about Yeah,
Use this right now.
yep, he sees it.
Is it?
He just wins his clash.
Wow, James, you really called this with all these resources.
Yes,
Just
you will.
bursting final
Completely
round.
forgot about Door in the
Classic
Night.
Gathering.
So, and because there's no rule book on this table, and I'm unsure about ambush, but it's just like putting one more card, right?
Yeah, face down as a.
Oh, yeah. I think now because he took the captain, the 6th strength captain, back from discarding Siren's Pool, he can just put the 6th strength captain into this
Yeah,
clash and
just
win it. And actually just govern with it, kicking Pablo entirely out of Council of Secrets, actually.
Yep.
And no, I reveal it or what?
There's no other.
That's exactly what we see, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
See if he chooses to take Castle and just kick Pablo out of Council of Secrets. And that would be really devastating because it messes up his Council of Secrets votes.
Yeah.
And Pablo now has a lot less value from Witch Trial.
Castle?
Yep.
Yep.
Of course.
Pablo, I
And
think Pablo
Bringer
sees it
is
coming.
just gonna continue to propagate. Wow. You know, I have slandered Bringer of the Word quite a bit, but maybe it's actually good.
Yeah, my seat is already ready.
Maybe
Oh, I
it's
think-
actually good.
I think Pablo is definitely using Witch Trial to get Bringer out of there.
That will
I
surprise.
don't think he's gonna let it exist for another round.
Okay, so I will just put
mean,
which.
You put that.
Oh, and chooses the votes instead. Okay, that's also pretty okay.
Yeah, at the very end of the game. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's 2 votes. So you're gonna get 2 votes at the end of the round. 2 votes.
Okay.
You could potentially put. I'm not sure what actually.
He governs
but
it.
At
Interesting.
the very least, you don't really want that card fighting for you.
I think here I would.
Journey with it, or
I'm not sure. I think I would
try that.
journey with the captain here into Council of Secrets because it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I
Actually, I
agree.
would rally. Yeah, I would rally the merchant and journey with it to gain 2 law.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
the start of next round, I would gain a law from remote both these.
Yeah.
Which lets me buy Ritual of the Tooth, and I
Yeah.
can. And even though you only get that card in spring, you still have Doors in the Night to ambush with it.
Yeah.
goodness.
All right, let's see if Nevakanezah can pull something out here.
Never help a guy out here. Come on.
Wonder if Nevakanezah retreats here.
Please.
Because if Nevakanezah retreats, and
What was
the play to swap Ritual of the Eye with the Ruse is still active.
I know. Out Beyond the Lights is very threatening here.
No, I think everything was just nice in the Discord. I seem to remember that everybody was just
I
like,
think we've really seen the power of Ritual of the Eye, even though it has been quite an underrated card, and I think we were just discussing how Ritual of the Two seems really, really strong and potentially more powerful than Ritual of the Eye. I think we're really seeing what Ritual of the Eye can do
We're
in an optimal scenario.
we're seeing a pretty optimal, composition for it to be used to wreak havoc. Completely agree.
you know.
I think, yeah, and I think if I were Nevakanezah here, I would just retreat the Ruse and keep my supporter there as unintuitive as it sounds.
Yeah, and just at least try to block the eye play. Yeah,
Yeah,
without Beyond the Lights.
Yeah, look. I'm just a small
I
guy.
think some table talk is happening here.
Yeah, let's see. Let's listen in.
I mean, Nevakanezah has has his heir in his hand.
that's the
It's something else. I haven't paid attention to what the card is, but he has something else in his hand.
Yeah, Nixx is gonna incur attrition.
He's going to incur attrition, yeah. He'll be down to 4 hand size.
Mhm.
That is one of the dangers of gathering.
Yep. Although Andrew's pointing out in the chat, if he can shrine, he could stave it off.
That's true, yeah. Well, he doesn't even need to shrine, right? He could just retreat the Ruse. He doesn't. Yeah, he could just retreat the Ruse if he wants to. Use Kingdom's Favor to pull Ritual of the Eye back to his hand, and also rally with the heir, and that actually
Yeah.
gets him more cards than he can hold. Actually,
That is a great point.
Incidentally, I don't know why it's not going to turn order. Is it because Jaffles hasn't?
Oh, so I don't have it. Maybe Nixx, have you got the turn order thing?
No, I think it's broken because it's written flip next clash marker after resolving clash, and all the markers are already flipped.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There, I
maybe-
fixed it.
Oh,
Fixed
perfect.
forever.
Force fixed.
Easy. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
Oh,
I can
okay.
properly contest this, is the problem.
Nevakanezah retreats the supporter or not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jeffers.
As unintuitive as it's going to be.
Oh, he
He
doesn't do it.
retreats the supporter.
He doesn't do it. Ah, that could have been smart.
Now let's see if Garing decides to do it.
Again.
Are they gonna do the funny haha play?
But I don't have any tricks, so I'll just stick.
I will say that this does leave him vulnerable to not having any tactics going into the final round.
Yeah, I mean, he still has Door in the Night. He still has a charge on Door in the
Does have
Night.
Door in the Night, that's true.
Last week it was not a very good game, so I think I'm going to have one more trick inside my sleeve.
He's going for it.
I don't want to be attrition to oblivion at
Actually, he
this place, so I'm going to swap my card.
he does do it.
Yes,
This one here.
I'm so glad you
Oh, here we go.
Oh man,
Beautiful. Yeah.
good
That's really beautiful.
stuff.
So I can take my cards back, because if not, I would have made the same mistake than you at the beginning
it's-
with the rally and the.
So that's its last tactic.
That's the perfect play. It's perfect use of that.
Yep.
Yeah. It is the perfect use of the tactic.
You could argue is that this will trigger on this.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, but I played as I.
I mean,
Yeah, but
he'll
you
get
do get to
Shrine, so
shrine
he'll get
the-
it back anyway. It's
You
fine.
get to shrine the ritual back, yeah. So you can guarantee you draw it.
Shrine, obviously, to take my cards back because I have no discard anyway.
So they'll
So-
just go to your deck, and then you get to put them in any order.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to draw everything because. Oh no, I'm at 5. Am I? Yeah.
Nixx can do some really tricky plays, having Ruse back in his hand.
No, you don't.
Because he has ambush from Door in the Night.
Idea?
So
But you,
similar to the idea where Jaffos, you had a video or short that said that Uprising can use a ruse to ambush in,
Yeah.
and then use safe houses to give the ruse retreat to take the ruse back in hand for a subsequent round.
Yep.
Nixx can actually do the inverse of that,
And
which is to
button is after.
give ambush using Door in the Night to ambush in Eye using the ruse, and then retreat the ruse back into his hand.
Is that legal?
Yeah, it was.
I think it is.
The gathering
Because
are.
my understanding of that was that the reason that interaction works is because you declare the ambush first, thus clear the retreat off the card, and then you can put the retreat on. Because you're not allowed to put 2 of the same command on a card normally, right?
Oddly, I see 2 of my supporters.
So you don't have to declare it yet. You can just say that I haven't chosen.
No, I
Use Door in the Night to give it ambush, trigger the ambush, and then declare I'm going to use retreat.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
perfectly legal.
Much more trouble. I mean, that was a great
Yeah.
move. Okay, Nev, I think it's you for Autumn.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can fix.
Because essentially it would work the same way, right?
Oh.
I guess it's slightly different.
Andrew is
order.
confirming it.
Supporters back.
So it's just Schrodinger's command. It's both and it's neither until it's declared.
I'm going to govern.
That was an amazing round by Gathering. I think winning every single clash in every single region. I think. Yeah.
I think it's the first
Like
time
every
we've
single
seen in
region.
any of these games where a faction has taken every single region.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Will they have enough
really showing
gas
the
in the
power of
tank to
the eye.
close though? That's the question. Because they pretty much burned all their rocket fuel this round.
That is true. They do still have Dawn and Night, so
I will.
I'd say they're in a decent position. I think even though they chose not to journey with their merchant, they can still journey 1 card now, gaining 1 lore, and using remote both to gain the other lore to take Maskmaker, which can then be ambushed as an 11 strength, which I think is a lot of strength to try and beat, especially given the fact that all the agents are still in the council.
Yep.
I may as well.
And when agents are not in the council, just raw strength is really, really powerful.
Yep. Unless you have Ritual of the Eye.
Yeah.
In which case it just becomes a massive liability.
I think here we're going to see Pablo use Withdraw here.
Yeah,
Of course it's not good,
definitely.
because
I mean, there's
it
no way he's
definitely
gonna let
denies-
Nev. Did Nev
Yeah.
already score Monument Builders? Monument Builders
Can't score it next round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way he'll let
he
he'll let
have
Nev
next
score
round.
that.
Yeah. Also, if he leaves it that way, Bring of the Word stays another round in Council of Wolves.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Pablo just already using Beyond Council Force, which makes a lot of sense here.
They go where? They go to discard pile or to...
Your discard.
Actually, Pablo can take the agent back into his hand or back into the top of his deck using Rich Trial
Yeah.
to get one lore.
Yeah,
I think might be what I'm looking to do here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then move any number of cards.
Yeah, because it gives him access back to his agent, which I think, as we mentioned, is really important. Just having the threat of the agents existing.
Yeah, to knock out
keeps
Eye.
players guessing a bit. Yeah.
Yep,
Knock
there
out
we
Eye
go.
and to just kill things like the Maskmaker, for example, or just high strength cards without invulnerable.
Fine.
Also gets him a lore, which lets him buy potentially Gilded Wall
I should vote.
to also deploy now into maybe the middle region, into the plateau. Really have a lot of strength there.
You know, be smarter. Okay, so
Is he gonna take it back?
Is very important in this game, and I'm doing this as an example of how not to sequence your moves. So I should have used this vote first before knocking anyone out. Anyway, so I'm then going to knock this card out because
Yep.
it's top of my deck.
Yep.
Very useful. And then I'm going to get one lore,
Yep, so he journeys it, just like you said, Winter Knight.
and then finally I'm going to.
How's he gonna spend it? Gilded Wall? I feel like Gilded Wall is the way to go here.
I think Gilded Wall makes a lot of sense here. Oh, I think
Journey.
Viceroy could make a lot of sense as well.
Goes my discard. Face down.
Because we know that Gathering also doesn't have access to their agent,
More, giving me 3.
since they've already used School of the
I
Stars,
think I will
and
spend.
they don't currently have any way to access Ritual of the Tooth.
Mhm.
So the Eliminate or the Deadly from Gathering side is not in play, and we know that Nevakanezah on Clans also has the agent in the councils. So I think raw strength here really does matter a lot. Invulnerable is not really as big an issue on the side of nobility because they are the ones with the agent currently.
Said I should.
That just goes for Econ.
So chooses to go for Econ, taking Royal Bank,
You may move.
and
one
yeah,
captain
since
from this card
ability is not
or gain
burst
one.
on the order track, they do get both the influence from Royal Bank as well as being able to move the
This
Master of Arms back into their hand,
Yeah.
which they can journey, which they can govern with actually right now.
Yep.
One influx. Put me up to 8. And that
Yeah, he hasn't used his govern, so
is me. I could govern. Right, let me just. Oh, what a night.
I'm not really sure whether players can really come back from the fact that Gathering is 7 influence up right now because
yeah, it's gonna take a
there's a lot of
miracle.
influence to try and cover. There's a lot of influence to try and cover.
Go. I'll join the club. Shoot your shot. There you go. Pass.
And so players currently still do have
Question for
votes
later.
in Council of Relics.
You can use your
So that could be a way to come back from that.
anytime you earn some lore
So
to purchase.
lore sits in your supply, and anytime you gain one or more lore, you can spend any.
So Nixx is an interesting choice here. He could potentially just choose to not journey this round.
Spend it.
And if he chooses not to journey and has no lore, remove both these gets him another influence,
Including
which
from this card.
just brings him further up in the lead.
I mean, at this
That
point,
is
he
definitely
should
an option
just
here as
take
well.
every influence he can. 'cause-
Essentially, yeah.
If you
Like
just
I said,
build an
because of
unassailable
Maskmaker-
lead, like what can people really do?
Yeah.
You can
He
spend.
does still have Dawn in the Night, which can be really powerful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this first to salvage my last warrior here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the obvious first so I don't forget. I'm going to send this guy on a journey to get one lore.
So does choose to journey, so he wants to try and take the Maskmaker play, which does allow him to ambush with Dawn in the Night.
I've been told discard. Sorry.
I think it's on the card itself. It says that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's written on the card. Exactly right. Yeah. Where was I? You're all trying to disturb me.
We're distracting Nixx. Throwing off his sequencing.
Just to salvage one because I would feel naked without it.
That would be a good play, I think. Being able to just govern here and actually take back 2 supporters, which is
Yeah.
actually not too bad.
Totally agree.
Use the effect right now. This effect.
You could. Yeah.
Yeah, Nixx is onto it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's
How are you
send
gonna make
him.
all this influence?
Excuse me?
I was asking Nev, how do we beat you?
It's
Uh,
not looking great
Not
because
looking great.
It's not looking great, yeah.
deployment means that Ritual of the Eye is almost certainly going to go on battlefield.
Yeah, I'm counting on it. So,
On Nevakanezah, I would say that if the Ritual of the Eye is still telegraphed, I think being able to still have access to your ruse really helps you with that.
so this is
Again, you can just place a single supporter and then put a ruse there, and that's it. I think the problem with that is that if you're thinking it's too telegraphed,
what's interesting at the
what
end.
can end up happening is that Gathering just decides to full commit on strength there and completely,
Yeah.
misdirect you.
I mean, it is just a brutal 50-50 when it's in play, because it's
Yeah.
like, you just have to make the read.
And,
Gathering has their ruse onto the middle region.
I did govern, I did journey.
They can, do the play that I was talking about, and depending on what other players choose to do, choose to ambush in Ritual of the Eye and then retreat the ruse back. So they need to be really careful here.
When you shuffle up and do attrition, do the cards go on the bottom in any order, or is it random?
Random, right?
It's
What's the
random.
question?
When you suffer attrition, the shuffle's random. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is my current situation.
Yes, I feel like Nev is potentially collapsing a little bit here. It's the danger of an early signet.
Is it random for the whole?
I think Nixx
The ones
being just perfectly on 5 hand size here is really important, because Doin the Knight still
Actually,
has 2
could we hold on? I
charges.
just want to make sure they resolve this correctly.
Yeah, totally. Go ahead.
In your hand, and then you would like so you draw, and if you can't, you shuffle your whole discard pile. You make a new draw pile, and then you draw up again to fill up your hand.
Is everything clear on this? I just want to make sure it gets resolved correctly.
Yeah. No, I've got it.
Okay, cool. Carry on.
So
All right, we're good. What were you saying, Winter Knight?
turn order.
So I was saying that because of the fact that Gathering just didn't attrition last round because of the shrine, in a really good position to use Doin the Knight, because it still has 2 charges going to the final round, and that leaves you the option of actually ambushing from a card from your discard pile rather than from your hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, really the stars are really aligning for Gathering here.
Good choice of words, given the theming of the faction.
Yeah.
The School of the Stars is happening, and our players are getting schooled.
I think really there's nothing on the Kingdom card row that is really that exciting and really can create such a big impact on this round. It's even harder for the other players to try and come back because the lead is so big from that second last round.
Yeah. Yeah, Benefactor, Pardons, Brigands. Nothing here is really going to swing the game super hard.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, a lot of these cards don't really matter in this final round.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been I feel like Siren's Pool has been the spiciest Kingdom card that we've seen this game. It's been a fairly lukewarm Kingdom card game.
This is the first time I'm try-harding at this game.
You're doing well. I'm now desperately scrabbling to try and
I think the only way
score here.
any other player can really catch up to Gathering here is by winning all 3 clashes.
Yeah.
That seems really difficult to do from any of their positions because neither of them have access to a huge bunch of their advanced faction cards.
Okay, good.
And neither of them have huge access to the tactics either. An important thing to note actually is that Clans is actually still stuck on all 3 markers on C lanes.
Resolve my bid, right?
Yeah, not using C lanes
They've
has
not
been tough.
gotten much use of it. Yeah.
You do.
It's such a powerful tactic.
15.
And it gets even tougher to use this round because of the fact that martial law is in play.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see Pablo use that last charge. I mean, there is literally no reason not to, right?
I think once again I don't want any of these.
Yeah, I also
Yeah,
think that's-
Nevakanezah recognizing that he doesn't really care about which he does, but he does get an influence from
Yep.
White Watchtowers.
And or dump, baby.
I think even as Gathering, I wouldn't be that incentivized to pick anything here.
It's me, right?
Yep.
Maybe you pick Forged Royal Pardons?
You can steal, absolutely, but note that he is defended by. So all of his cards have
Oh
+5.
yeah, he has a lot of value. Yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah, I think I think Nixx really wanted to steal.
But
Oh, I guess stealing something doesn't really do anything much because he can't steal
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Monument Builders, so it doesn't really matter.
Just take this one.
yep,
Yeah,
So just
it's
take
probably the best
Royal
option.
Pardons.
He could at least do something with it, you know?
How did the Bring of the Word end up in the discard pile again?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not too happy to start. It feels very comfortable to play last.
It's horrible. It's when the stakes are high.
You might have grabbed every single card by accident, Raffles.
Oh, did
that
I?
was you grabbing the discard pile. Yeah.
Based on the last round,
I
being
think to quickly grab the top card off. Yep, there you go.
fucking great.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
I think Gathering was really put in a really good position last round because
Cliche
we were all really even in terms of influence. Like it was 8, 8, and 7. So
Yep.
you're just trading by a little bit, but you still get to determine the clash order, which is
I mean,
and taking last action,
That
which
is
is really important.
just that is the ideal amount of sandbagging, you know? Like
Yeah,
you just want to
100%.
be behind by just that little bit.
I have too much to lose if everybody comes
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. I would agree.
I was playtesting the team just on Friday,
Absolutely.
and I had a choice to trigger Council of Relics
Mm-hmm.
to get an extra influence, cash in my vote. But I decided against it because that would have put me up to be the same influence as everybody else. So instead, I chose to just send back that influence and keep the vote in Council of Relics,
Yeah.
just to stay slightly behind everybody, just to be higher up in total. So I think sandbagging is a totally legitimate approach.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you can overdo it because if you get too far behind, well,
Yeah, obviously.
but yeah, oh man, imagine if shapeshifters had shown up earlier.
Yeah. This is really juicy. This game. Where is the agent from Gathering? I remember it was in the lost pile. Hopefully they didn't accidentally take it into that discard pile. I'm gonna quickly change over to Uprising and just so I can interact with the board a little bit. The agent is in. Is the discard pile supposed to even be there? Let me just check in with the players.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and check in with them?
Hey everyone, I'm just gonna cut in for a little bit. We are placing heralds. I think so now I'm looking at this card pile for Gathering, and I think a lot of these cards were actually in the lost pile, if I'm not wrong. Like I think the agent was definitely in the lost pile. I'm not sure how these cards got here.
I was just happy they were, but I don't know. It was. I think it was during last winter. They just came here.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I
that
didn't
shouldn't
think
be
it-
correct. Maybe
Yeah.
it might have been automation. I think we might have put the cards a bit
Yeah.
too close to the board, and then they got shuffled back.
I can't remember what he grabbed with School of the Stars. Is the important one. 'Cause he
So
might
let's
have
just
brought
grab the
those-
trader, which is currently in the council.
Yep. Yep.
Because this is used also. I use this. I don't have
Yeah.
any tactic
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
Yeah, I think all of these cards are actually in the lost pile.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wait, Skarn, what do you mean? Attrition wouldn't impact the lost pile.
The automation just happened here.
Yeah, I think that might have happened. So the
Yeah.
automation just was got a bit too close, and then everything got shuffled.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, but all should be
thanks so
good
much for
otherwise.
jumping in. Cheers.
Welcome.
Alright, I think we're good. I'll mention it to the player, so we should keep it in the... I think it's a scripted zone for the bottom of the board to not accidentally shuffle lost cards. So I'll just mention that to the player.
That's the part I hate a lot.
So Skarn pointing out that Nick shouldn't have cards in the lost pile because he just attritioned. I think you mean discard pile, Skarn, and I probably would say that he didn't actually attrition, so he actually drew enough cards to hit up to his hand size, so he didn't actually attrition. Yeah. So I see the chat now.
Yeah.
But I will be taking my cash when it's the appropriate time. I just need to think about.
Yeah, so
I wish you weren't in
I-
fucking plateau. That's what I wish.
I don't know what you think about it, but obviously I would not have taken this if I had an empty discard pile. So
Oh, I don't think it will. I don't think it will matter. I don't think. Well, maybe you could use it
what
to.
matters is, I used the card because I thought I had a discard, and
Which one would? Well, the problem is.
I would
Because
have
you need-
withdrawn the card. It is the only one I wanted. So
Which one the
just
card? I think is fun. I
if
think
you
it's fun.
don't mind, because really I wouldn't have taken this with
Yeah,
an empty discard. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I think that's completely reasonable.
And that probably would be exactly what I've done as well, because
Yeah.
he does have Dawn in the Night and probably has his ruse in his hand.
Exactly.
So yeah, makes total sense here.
Yep, it's a good call out, and I think it's fine.
Die with glory.
I think it's perfectly reasonable as well.
Okay.
Bit of a technical misshap there, but
It's just
seems good.
scripting is wonderful, but
Yeah.
when people go off the rails, sometimes stuff like that can happen.
It's going to be the worst part.
I think Nevakanezah and Pablo both realized that they do need to win Battlefield and probably need to steal from each other in order to try and contest Gathering.
Yeah.
So that's what they've chosen to do, and have chosen to not contest Gathering in other regions.
Tricky to play around I, because
It is, Pablo, it is.
the lowest value is going to win everywhere else. It's not. But if you
The 50-50s are brutal.
It's trickier for me because am I going to do the obvious move or not?
Is he going to place it at all?
This is like, this is where I feel like Old King's Crown starts to feel like a fighting game almost, you know? Like you're just trying to like read your opponents.
Yeah. I think reading your opponents is pretty important in Old King's Crown anyway, so sometimes it's just that soul read and seeing and looking into your opponent's eyes and seeing what they're trying to do with it.
Exactly. I am so excited to play this game in person. I feel like it's just gonna be a riot.
Holy yeah. I remember when every single faction had access to false orders, which is what Uprising currently has.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the tactics. And you could just swap something around.
Oh
So
my
there was
gosh.
always this soul read where you were wondering where the opponent's best card would be, and then thinking if they would put it in the region that you think they were going to go to, and then it became a complete mind game.
Yeah.
yeah, I feel.
I feel so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe, just maybe.
This is the aim of the game. Just how bad do you feel? Everyone
This is
feeling bad?
exhausting.
Great.
Yay!
Nobody had fun.
Okay, one last card. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still kind of considering mine too.
Okay, perfect.
At this point, it's really just a soul read, I think, depending
Yeah.
on what they feel like Nixx
It's
is going to do,
just,
because it's really hard to predict.
Hard read. I mean,
Yeah.
Nevakanezah is
Nixx
Mr.
have-
Crows. If anyone can do a hard read, I believe.
Seems like Pablo is disconnected from the game.
Oh, whoops. Pablo quit prematurely.
Gives me more time to make bad decisions.
You gave up. Yeah, you've been like kicked.
It's really tricky here actually for other players because of the fact that Gathering has access to Dawn the Night and the Ruse. It just gets really tricky to try and predict where Ritual of the Eye would be.
I mean, what do you even do? Like, I feel
I
like you
wouldn't
just gotta
even
freaking believe in the heart of the cards.
Yeah, I wouldn't really be sure what to do here.
Good.
Honestly, wouldn't know what to do.
Just a blip. Yep, I'm back.
Probably just resign to fate.
So I'm good, I think.
I think it's just a bad scenario to be no matter which how you're playing it.
I mean, this is just goes to show why holding on to all of your resources is so strong, especially for Gathering. Just
Yeah.
because all of their stuff is
100%.
daylight. Like, ugh.
I think Pablo is having issues connecting right now.
Yeah, hold on. I just
Nevakanezah
got an
is-
error. Let me check in with him.
Alright, that's probably as good as we're getting.
Nevakanezah having a lot of second thoughts about.
Uh,
Oh,
not even. Okay.
Nevakanezah having a lot of second thoughts about where to place, and so is Nixx.
I know they're like
It's probably too
we're watching like an episode of Death Note where they're just like trying to outfox each other.
Okay. If the hosts, are they okay? Just me, I think.
Yeah, you're the only one who's disconnected.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, I'm back in. I can see the board. If everyone can hear me, then great.
Haven't had any problems with the
Hello.
audio, so.
Okay, so then we can go to spring.
Yes.
So I will start by taking my free lore and purchase this bad boy.
Ooh,
Mask Maker gets
So Nixx going
purchased.
for exactly
Yeah.
the play. Yep.
That's it.
So now players are even in a terrible position because they don't know whether the roost is going to ambush Ritual of the Eye or ambush a
It
Mask
is-
Maker for 11 strength.
It is just a true brutal 50-50, you know? It's just brutal. Winter Knight, what have you done? What have you created?
I like to say that I was not the one that gave the idea for Ritual of the Eye's design, so
good.
That's
I
true.
take credit for everything else in the kit,
No,
but
that
not
was
card.
actually my idea. My one claim to fame here is coming up with the idea for the Ritual of the Eye. Although I actually suggested it as
It was a really good
Guerrilla
idea.
Fighters originally.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh. And I will play martial law here.
Yeah, there's martial law.
I forgot about this.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
shit!
So that might
Do you
have
think he
stopped me from a
caught the
little bit.
ruse?
I can. But
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
specifically, sorry,
Yeah.
nobody can move into here. That's
Let's not forget that you can still retreat the ruse and ambush in the ruse using Ritual of the Night, using Door in the Night, and then use the ambush on the ruse to completely buy more time in terms of looking at your actions.
Yeah, but martial
forget
law
about
stops all that in the middle region.
Yeah, you could use you could use it to mess with the other regions. So
Yeah,
you could just
yeah,
retreat
I see what you're
the
saying.
ruse in the middle region, and then
running on empty.
players don't know what you're gonna ambush, right? So if they had an ambush,
Has this
for
got
example, if
Yeah, no, the double
you went
ambush.
to the ambush in the top region, yeah, you have a double ambush, so you have more information about exactly what they have ambushed.
Yeah. Oh, that's so silly.
Not many cards either.
Mm-hmm.
In the hand.
Mhm. How many hand? One. Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of happy the way how this game has turned out. Clearly not biased at all.
Yeah, it's you're like a proud parent watching your child like ride a bike for
exactly.
the first time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like that.
That's probably as good as we
Now players are clearly more wary of Ritual of the Eye,
Mm-hmm.
for
so it's sort of littering supporters everywhere.
related.
Yeah, but
Combination
even
of
if
your.
you're wrong, if you're wrong, that was the right call. I think everybody having like low strength in like one place, I think, is a smart call.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pablo calling that out.
Okay, if everyone is good, Neva, it's you to
Oh, and my free money from Monument Builders.
good. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep, Monument Builders activates. Alright, that's a 5-point gap. Anything
I
could
think
happen,
Nevakanezah
folks.
still has a really good shot.
Does
yeah,
Nev have
definitely.
a air burst or a herald burst lined up? He does.
He has two
have a
Vulcan
herald
Council
burst
of
lined up.
Relic.
Take 5.
Yeah.
Nevakanezah does win the battlefield. He has a real shot at this game actually.
That was 4 of them, I think. Unless he dropped one
No,
directly
it
on
was,
the
it was
stack.
yeah. I'm pretty sure he.
Clans should be at 10, right?
Oops. It was
I
one.
don't-
Yeah, I think Nev should be at 10. I think.
Every once in a while.
They're,
Yep.
they're also like
Some monument builders.
hitbox area, so the mod is not picking them up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Free money acquired.
Okay. Good luck.
So I think
yes, you to decide, Neva.
Oh god.
Alright, what's he
Look at
gonna
the
do?
automation for them. We hit the automation for them, I think.
It's still just about. Oh,
Well, he has to put the markers out.
Ah, okay, so he's already gotten the markers, got it.
Yeah.
Just trying to
I didn't see the markers there.
includes fucking martial law.
Nev's
That's a good
mad
way to
about
summarize
martial law again.
Last game, like it completely ruined
It
my odds
is.
of taking over the
Same.
leader.
I think
It's gonna do the same thing.
Nixx really chose a great time to go all in, because that was the round that
Yep.
Diablo didn't use martial law. Martial law really
Exactly.
does stuff up a lot of things that Gathering can do.
Broken. It's that it's when you save it to round 5, it is the ultimate like king making piece for the person who's already winning.
It's this and this. These are just whoever
Yeah.
plays. It's just horrible. It's horrible. Like sometimes I read articles about game design and about upsetting players, and you don't want to upset players, and you don't want to. And then we have stuff like this in the game.
Pablo's talking about how they are leaving deliberately upsetting things in the game to raise everyone's blood pressure. So buy this game; it's really fun. I love it.
Oh, really? I didn't expect that in first.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
No, but I'm surprised.
See?
Okay. Well, good luck.
Final
Here we go.
clashes of this game.
3, 2, 1.
All right.
I think Pablo should have this one.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure he
he'll
can ambush
flank.
anything and win. Nevakanezah will flank out of that region.
yeah. He'll use sea lanes to flank out. I'm sure.
He does get stolen from, which is problematic, and I think because of that, Nevakanezah doesn't actually get to resolve his Council of Relics vote. Council of Relics cash in.
Yeah.
Pablo actually gets actually 4 influence from this clash.
Zone.
Yeah. Why did he put his herald there? Ah.
And something super high.
Yeah, that's not a play I would have went for.
I intend to, yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Just let me check the wording on that. You mean swap, add, or move in?
Yeah, Pablo's checking about that.
You can move out.
You
Yeah,
can
you
move
can
out.
move
of
out.
it.
It's not my turn to do so.
It's just not being able to move into it.
Yeah.
Swap, add, or move. Yeah, so nothing to be done, like no regrets to have. I believe.
The downside is I'm going to lose a point to heralds.
You are, I think. So
Yeah. The herald placement is tough. That.
Waffles, you should know better. Corvid snare is the other way around. No one can leave the snare.
Calling you out there.
I was wrong.
I mean, a 5 invulnerable traveling around is good. Is there any way for you to get your? No, you don't.
No.
There's-
No, he's cooked. He's cooked.
It was kind of an awkward hope that I would be able
Ability is up to 12 influence, so
to
could have some hope there.
take the people's favor and
Because let's not forget, nobility does also get an extra influence in autumn from Royal Bank, so
possible to take out the leader.
I'm
Fucking.
so sorry. I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay. It happened in the last game too, and I can't necessarily blame you because with the info you have, it's not bad. But like, holy shit, that's frustrating to have that happen twice. in
And
a row.
I'm running on empty. If you could see the other card in my hand, you would laugh at what strength I'm working with here.
So I think Nevakanezah probably forgot about martial law.
Yeah.
That's why he chose to put his herald there and was thinking that because he had control of the clash marker order, he could just flank riders into that region.
Yep.
Then realizing that it doesn't work anymore, he chose to resolve it first so that he can at least flank the war machine into a different region to try and win that region instead.
I think that's,
that's probably
exactly
what
what we're
happened there.
seeing. Yep.
Yeah, and I think actually if you remembered
Setup going.
about martial law,
Steal
he might have gotten the win actually.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
he
he
probably might
is
have riders in another time.
he's talking about it, but I think martial law has robbed him of 2 games in this tournament now, with nobility losing and it just king making whoever's in 3rd place.
I mean, they are meant to be.
I would have been able to cash out
It's
at
look.
least 2 influence from the relics, 1 influence from riders and 1 influence from the herald,
This fucking.
another influence from the location. So that would have been 5 influence actually.
It-
That would have gotten to 15 if he actually remembered martial law.
Yep. Yep.
So-
Yeah.
But I'm just basing that on the pure assumption that he does actually have
Otherwise, I get to
Titus in the region.
permanently.
Well,
See, it
we'll
could
get
still
his
be in his deck.
post game take because I'll be very curious.
It's
and just be like, the game is.
His post game take might just be, can we remove martial law from the game?
boring, sad thing.
Burn that card. Video game. Okay.
It's
good luck in
it won't
the-
mean
the
anything to
Lowlands.
you, but it's rapidly becoming the moles of this game.
Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1. That'll do it. That's,
So that's really interesting.
um,
There's another note again.
So I'm
He
first.
can ambush in
Yeah.
Ritual of the Eye if it's in his hand using
Yep.
Dawn in the Night and flank the
Yep.
and flank the cavalry back to the top region.
Q card.
That's exactly what's
Yep,
gonna
I
happen.
think that's what we're gonna see actually.
And, Should I just remember face down? Yeah, exactly. Thank you
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much. Very, very much.
Good
Just
call.
letting him know.
Good call, Winter Knight.
Can I? Oh yeah, so I can't because if it was face up, I would have ambushed the ambush with my last.
yeah.
But you can do that, of course.
It's a lot about like, tone at this point. It's like, what have I put in?
Winter Knight showing a little favoritism towards his baby here.
Just reminding players that they have always put it face up.
Uh-huh.
It's following
uh-huh.
legal rules.
Yeah.
You're not
Making sure the
biased at
game-
all, right? No bias.
Not biased at all. No, absolutely not.
Uh,
Way.
Moved out of
Could I be?
that would be the eye.
Yeah,
It's never a favorite child.
because I don't need to.
Okay. I don't think there is anything. I mean, I'd love for there to be something I could do here, especially because of this.
Will say that aside from Gathering, I did quite a bit of work on Clans as well. A lot of the remakes towards the end were
Is
also sort of my suggestion. So I have two technically favorite childs in a sense.
I love the work that you did on Clans. I think they're my favorite faction to pilot with those late
It's
changes.
really nice to hear, yeah.
I hope we see one Bureau Clans game though, where people really focus on like a Clans council strategy.
Yeah.
It is easily my favorite way to play this game.
right.
Yes.
Yes. So you can't move this. So you.
Oh, wait, Gathering has chosen not to flank the card up to the Highlands, which implies that that's probably not Creature of the Eye. But
Yeah,
I guess even if he
it's
does
probably
put
his
the Eye,
11,
he still wins
right?
actually.
Oof. You're on 7.
11, it still wouldn't be enough because Clans is on 17 currently.
Clans is
Actually,
not-
well, even if you put in Creature of the Eye here, he would still win actually. So
yeah, it's true.
he will be at 8 and everyone else is too high.
Could be the eye.
So
There,
Pablo also
people are
realized
realizing.
I
On 8, which would.
think it wouldn't really make sense to not flank out anyway,
Yeah,
even if it was the Eye, because there's nothing else other players can do about it.
Whether you let.
Yeah.
So Nevakanezah has already used the flank.
If it's not the, if it's not the eye.
You can't sea lanes both the air and
This is
War
important.
Machine out.
that's why you gotta, yeah. You can't leave those charges of sea lanes unused.
Maybe he's just messing with Nevakanezah because if he flanks the 5 out, he's telling Nevakanezah that, hey, this might not be my eye, you shouldn't flank out.
I think.
Oh my
And
god.
if that's the case, and Nixx actually has his ambush in the top region, he could ambush the 11 into the top region.
Yep. Oh my god, that would be
So he's
really
put in a really bad
dastardly.
50-50 scenario.
Yeah. Oh man.
I thought I lost my internet connection a while because nobody was moving anything and nobody
I
was saying
think
anything.
people are
and I was-
just thinking. I think Nev is just thinking.
Yeah. Neva's thinking really hard here. I think the problem is even if you do flank your 5 out and it's Ritual of the Eye, you still lose the clash, right? So
Ugh.
so the backbreaker here would be if this was actually the 11
That's the eye.
and he did flank out,
It is the eye.
then it would be doomed because then we know that I would come in the top region.
Yep.
Hang on a second.
I guess Nevakanezah could have his rules on top region, so
And if it's not the eye, then he can't win this region no matter what.
Are you saying because
If you flank out, that's a different story.
I know, that's the question.
Oh, but if you kept this here. So,
If you ask me, I think the safest play here would just be to put the eye in. It's what
Yeah.
I would go for if I was gathering.
I mean, all Gathering needs to do is win one region, and they've clinched this game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
because 8 is
I think the biggest
so.
sort of style point play would be if you ambush in your mask maker
Yep.
and made Nevakanezah
How important is
flank upwards,
Mhm.
then have the eye in the top region. That would
Yeah.
be carry on top.
the
Yeah.
I think if Nevakanezah has the rules on top region, he sort of circumvents it anyway.
right? I knew.
No fucking way in hell. I can't move anything around well enough. More importantly, even if I do win both of them, he's still gonna win the game. I'm pretty
so
sure.
too. I think so too. It was. We just can't steal from. Is
Yeah, not being able to steal from the Gathering Herald was
Say
a
the
big thing.
or Kingdom's favor.
Yep. That was really counting on snagging that Kingdom's favor.
I had to deal with martial law.
I'm so
I could
sorry.
have
I'm so
I could
sorry.
have scrolled
sorry.
on up there
I'm so sorry.
and
It's
stolen
it's on
points.
you again.
Fucking martial law, man. It's exactly the same as the last game. I'm like, I could steal from him and turn this around and do stuff, but martial law is here to ruin the fun.
Yeah, players they have to remember martial law exists. So
I hate.
it's a thing.
This game.
Well, now that we've ruined Nevakanezah's opinion of this game, I look forward to the eventual Nevakanezah martial law rant video.
Hate is inscribed on it. Angstrom. Yeah, we'll make him have it.
Okay, so. You,
All right, let's see.
See?
Oh,
Oh, there's the 11.
there you go.
Oh yeah.
Dang,
Give him the
Nixx.
star
Nixx
points.
came to
I give him the
play.
star points.
I was hoping to low
Oh, yeah, I give him the star points.
this.
I respect the play, Nixx. I
Yeah.
respect the play.
Nixx came to play.
Yeah,
Well
good,
played.
very good.
yeah, very well.
I give him the star points.
I play the faction that's all about lying because they're not good enough to win
Yeah.
on tactics.
The whole faction.
I'm so
Okay.
happy there's no
It would have been cool if he did it.
in my face.
You're just sitting there sweating.
Yes. Oh, by
Alright.
1. Okay, so what is the best outcome for you here? Necropolis lets you pull back nothing, so it's got to be
Yeah,
Shrine.
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Shrine to put things
Take whichever influence makes the most sense.
no gain whatsoever.
Something. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, late game Lowlands is just not doing much for you.
So that I can touch more cardboard. And I gain a point.
Yep.
Actually, this game still ended up being pretty close overall, I think.
It was a tight game. I mean, if Nev had put his Herald somewhere else,
Yeah.
I think he could
Yeah,
have won.
definitely.
Okay, so
100%, yeah.
oops.
I've already put it on the bottom.
Oh. That's me. I'm glitching out, I think.
I think they would have clans would have been able to cash in 5 influence.
Yeah.
It would be time with gathering. It would depend on who wins the last clash.
Yep. Oh man. Horrible ping to Pablo. I don't know what's happening right now.
Oh, that was a while ago, I guess. I think that's correct.
Sorry. I think my my ping just went crazy. So
Alright, we're gonna resolve the last region.
Islands, good luck. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, there's all the ruses.
Well, and the agent is there actually, so
Okay.
I don't think gathering has any flaws.
So I'm regretting now the hell.
He's regretting not putting the Ritual of the Eye on the bottom region.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, because Pablo did take his agent back, and that's exactly what we're mentioning, that it does counter both the Mask Maker and Ritual of the Eye.
Yeah, that was a smart
really there.
call out from you and a smart heads up play from Pablo to not leave the agent in the council and instead to play it to threaten Ritual. Totally agree.
The downside.
Yeah. I mean, even if Ritual was here,
To make you win.
Nevakanezah having a supporter there
Pablo.
Yep.
would mean that he probably had his roost there, and in this case, even if Ritual was managed to get in that clash,
Give me just one second.
Nevakanezah could just retreat
See what I could.
his ruse, have one strength there, win the clash.
Ooh.
Okay. Whatever. I will ambush for what it's worth.
Ambush.
I think much players can do about it. I mean, it's just Nevakanezah choosing whether he wants to ambush something. I'm not sure if Nevakanezah has
Okay. You pass in.
a follower. He does have a 4 follower somewhere in his deck. I'm not sure if he's drawn it.
I will pass. That's everything I do.
Hey, Mr. Relaxa, thank you for the follow. Hope you're enjoying this game.
Oh, and actually, Pablo wins this clash. He's actually up to 14 after Royal Bank.
I
It
know.
makes things really, really close.
This is so tight.
Oh,
No, the eye.
Yeah, is there
it's
anything
probably
you
the
can
eye
do to
or
get
the
any
captain.
other?
You would win regardless. But if he puts something.
He's got Signet. He's got Signet. Could he get something from Signet?
He doesn't have it.
oh, Signet's already on the bottom region, so he doesn't have his air anymore.
Yeah.
Give up the opportunity to win with his air.
And the eye is not invulnerable, so it's going to get knocked out by
I
me
think I would have put my air in the middle region
anyway.
because you know that martial law is there, so you had
Exactly.
a lot of effect there.
Yep.
Have you got anything invulnerable?
If you worry about eye, you had a ruse there already, so you could just retreat everything.
Yeah. I know, because that one more would have forced a tie, but
yeah, but one more might be the
Gathering
difference
has Kingdom's favor,
here. That's true. Yeah,
so they
That
would
is
have won a tiebreaker.
that's true.
Yeah, so we have one more game scheduled today. It's gonna be in about 30 minutes. So we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll start the next game at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. Well, now I'm glad we had the buffer between the two games, because this one actually ended up taking longer.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, this did take quite a bit.
Hang on, where's the 4?
A lot of cerebral play from these players.
Yeah. So if you can play some sort of invulnerable card that. Oh no, but I'm. Oh, but you've got this.
I think Pablo's overthinking about too
I
much,
think
or
he
they're
is
overthinking
as
about
well.
it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Nixx doesn't have anything they can play, and I think if Nevakanezah has like a follower, you just ambush it in, and that's it.
Yep.
Open.
Okay,
So,
the air comes in.
Nothing unexpected here.
You're out.
Congratulations, Nixx. There's nothing to be done.
So you both go out.
He spent his game coming and leaving as soon as he was on the table.
in and out. And which leaves 5 versus 1, which means unexpectedly I win.
Yeah. Wow, Pablo came close.
Did yeah.
How much lore have I got? None. That's no good. It's no good. It's not going to be enough. Not going to be enough. It's my herald's not there. It's not going to be enough. I can get 1, and I suppose I could journey. I could govern.
It's just 1 from the region.
And here.
Go bank.
2 votes. It's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing. I think I just get.
Yep, Skarn. So we'll call that out for players on future games to make sure that doesn't screw things up with the UI.
And I will take this card, and I'll put this card here as a matter of principle. and we go to autumn.
All right. This is looking like
I think
it's
that's wrapping
Nix's
up.
game.
Just straight up game.
Yeah, it is.
I think.
I can
Nix's-
I
still.
think we can head over to the players chat as well already.
Yeah, let's move over and go do a little congratulations.
This to get card back to use it to get a lore,
Yes.
and then use this. Is it this?
Mhm. Wait. Was it? Yes.
You
yeah.
don't get the influence from it, though.
No, but I can journey again.
You could journey, make another lore, and then you're going to trigger this effect.
Yeah.
He has
Oh,
to buy
sorry.
the Ritual of the Tooth, though.
Or I could rather, if I don't want to take risk, I'm not even.
Yeah, you still have this card. You still have this card.
I don't have this card.
No,
Yeah, you would have to buy it for Vault Tree to be available.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you have to take all the cards. Oh, so I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just take this one back maybe because it's too low.
Yeah.
And journey
Yeah.
with it.
Oh, he's going for the bonus.
I don't think there's.
Hey guys, I've joined the chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, but my last card is my eye, and there's no lore on it, so I cannot.
Yeah. So,
I cannot.
You get close, but the only way to trigger this is if it's empty.
No, wait. Yeah, but wait, 1 sec. This, if I take this back, thanks to the king's favor here. So I use my board lore journey to get 2 lore.
Yeah.
And then with this, I activate this, and it could be an active card, and I could do it with this one, no?
So Kingdom's Favor is the region where you have your Herald. So your 11 was not in the region you have your Herald.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so
Yeah.
no more points for me. Or maybe one, not even one. Yeah, I could have.
No,
Yeah, okay.
you would
Doesn't
still need
matter.
to clear this. Yeah.
But with this, I would have won the battle, because I would have copied.
Yeah.
Emptied out your entire... Yeah. Well, just remember, Kingdom's Favor also breaks ties. So holding on to it is beneficial in that regard.
That's very clever, yeah.
It's a good way of grabbing that in the end. I will. What am I on? 13. What are you on? 15. I can't beat you, but I can win. I don't know. Maybe as close to a moral victory as possible. So, get my squad in there. I'm going to put 4 on the harvest field. I'm going to take the Kingdom's Favor off you.
Okay.
Just as a matter of principle. But I cannot get enough influence to beat you.
You're so close, Pablo.
And I pass.
Yeah,
Alright.
the difference there was actually just the air being on the plateau or not. That was one extra influence from Signet.
Yep.
One extra.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it would be
Yeah.
another influence from Royal Bank. So actually that would tie you, and then you would actually win because you still had the tiebreaker.
I was so paranoid.
Oh, Pablo, you were so close.
No.
Good on you, Nixx, for holding on. That was a tight game.
Thank you.
Yeah, well played. Well played.
Thank you,
There was-
guys.
There was one round where you beautifully used this, traded in for exactly a strength 1 victory using this. It was really, really good. In fact, Andrew sent me a private message just being like, did you see the move? The move he just did was so good.
Yeah, I know that was a sick turn. You made like
It was-
9
it was
points.
really good.
Yeah, he won all 3 regions. We have not seen that happen in the tournament yet.
Yeah,
really?
I was in
Whoa.
a position where I'm like, I'm not running out of steam, but on this turn, I can feel it. I'm just gonna be beat out by small margins on anything.
If honestly, the pivotal decision was buying this card.
Yep, instead of Tooth. 100% agree. You were set up so well to use this because everyone had their high strength cards.
Yeah,
But,
and maybe on
go
on
ahead.
the last turn I was too predictable. Probably it didn't change anything, but it was not a very good turn. What I did.
It was very like close, but this was it's scary enough that I tried to place 0 and 1 here and a low amount here to knock this card out.
Is that why you didn't put your air there? Because you missed out on the signet point from not putting your air there.
So instead of doing this, I could have done that, and it would have won the game. But
So my original plan for this turn was going to be like, not get kicked out of here, but you had witch trials, so it was kind of a bygone conclusion. But if I could get the 3 points from that, it was going to make the rest of this turn a lot easier.
Yeah.
Then it was set up my herald here to try and bait Ritual of the Eye into going in the plateau. Then try and what was it exactly? I was going to, I think, either lose that region or commit to it off of Lowlands, putting 15 on there.
Yep.
Did you have riders to commit to? I was expecting to see riders show up.
They're in my deck right now.
Okay. That sucks.
I pulled the 8 off the top of the deck when
Is that what you draw? Okay.
they're literally the next card.
It was really, really close.
But
Really
Riders
cool.
wasn't that important. What I really needed to do was I'd really needed to steal points from Nixx.
Yep.
And what I wanted to do was get Harvest Field and then like flank up, because if I put myself on Wilderness, it was just going to be a really awkward scenario where I just have to really hope that he does commit eye there, and I only put one thing. But I set up so that I could see what the flip was, and then commit everything there, hopefully if I had People's Favor from Harvest Field. And then abandon Lowlands probably to Pablo.
Yeah. Oh, it was really, really close. It was, I mean, we were all neck and neck, and then it was that big turn. I mean, they're such a great combat faction.
I want to thank you, whoever made the video, because on the first game of the tournament, I watched the wrong video. I didn't expect to play the clans, and I see the difference in my, global understanding of the faction I was playing.
Yep.
Yeah, Nixx, you showed up ready to play. You played a really good game.
Well played. Really
Yeah.
good.
But honestly, well played from everyone. I'm genuinely sad that we have to eliminate 2 of you guys, but congratulations to Nixx. You'll be continuing on, and Corporate and Nevakanezah, I'm sorry, but your journey ends here.
Look, as a raging socialist that I am, if I have to die to take out the corporate masters, then I will do so.
And how fitting to destroy
Seize the
them.
means of renaming his child.
If I get to name the child, I will get back to you. Right now, I have to save my YouTuber cred by winning this game, and now, I get back to you.
Okay, well, hey,
We will choose
everyone,
together.
really well played. That was a great game. Thank you.
That was an excellent game. That was a treat to watch. Thank you, everyone. For everyone who joined us in chat, awesome. Super appreciate it. And we'll be playing our next game in 30 minutes, featuring another great set of players. We'll see if maybe Lord of the Board can pull it out and keep the root players in. But we're going to take a little bit of break. I'm going to go grab some lunch, and I will see everyone